one Super Bowl title.
Yeah,
right?
because quarterback stats is a really stupid statistic, or quarterback wins is a really bad statistic.
That's coming from a line.
That's coming from a person with knowledge of the NFL, as they said with the Packers.
Well, nowadays you don't win. You don't win with a superstar quarterback. You win with a rookie quarterback because you can spend all your money on everybody else.
Yeah, just like last year when Tom Brady
we
won.
finally have it hooked right.
You mean the guy who takes a discount when he was with New England every year? That's how they do it. He takes a discount.
Well, he had to go get all the surgical masks from China so that we can get Massachusetts going.
So is there 7 or is there 8 of us that are going to be drafting?
I thought it was supposed to be 8.
There's 7.
Oh, so everybody's here.
I lost.
Hello.
I lost Gary earlier today. He has some producing.
I don't know. George said something.
We lost Gary. He's got something to do.
Yep.
Oh wow. Yeah, Brady was really
No,
underpaid. All right, good point, Suds.
Yeah, he took a discount for the past like 15 years.
He only made
Hey,
23
go
mil
onto
last
the
year.
Facebook, make
Wow.
sure that we're there.
I knew it was low. I didn't know it was that low. Wow.
He hasn't been in the top 10 in pay scale in his career.
Huh. All right. You won that argument. Congrats.
Thank you. And that New England also always has more fucking picks than any other team.
PAT kicks.
Like picks as in draft picks.
Oh, I thought you said kicks.
No, picks. Draft picks.
I'm looking right now, George.
One year,
Yes.
one year they had like 18 draft picks. In one fucking year, the Lions had 4 in the same draft.
Yes,
year?
it's showing up.
The Lions only had 4 in 1 year. What year was that?
It was 4 or 5. I mean,
Wow.
it was only 5 rounds, right? So they had 5 draft picks. New England, isn't it 5?
No, it's 7.
Okay,
Been
they had
7 for quite
7.
a while.
Well, only 5 really count
Well.
for anything.
Not for kickers and punters. Sam Martin.
Yeah. That's how the Lions get their best players, Hanson and people like that.
Hey, don't disrespect Jamal Agnew.
All right.
If Brady ends up winning the fucking Super Bowl, he doesn't get a chance to brag. He went to a team that's got fucking 3 superstar wide receivers. If he can't win with that, that's fucking ridiculous. That's cheating.
The thing is, if he wins a Super Bowl with Tampa, he's an automatic next year HOF. Who else has done that?
Tom Brady could retire today and be a next year automatic Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
There's no ballot. There's no ballot. It's just automatic. Like
Just put him in. Just put him in. Just
One
go.
other player, Peyton Manning.
No, he didn't do that. Peyton Manning lost the first
Yes.
first time after going to Denver. He won the second year.
That's right. They got blitzed by New Orleans, didn't they? No,
Seattle
Seattle. That's what it was. Seattle. Yeah.
beat that ass.
Didn't Trent Dilfer win in his first year in Baltimore?
Yeah, he sucked.
Really?
Well,
You wanna go there?
joked around about it. It wasn't really Dilfer, it was actually Durback.
Wow. I'm sorry. Game manager. Oh, that was another head coach on the field. Never mind.
Hey, they were just asking who won in their first year with the new team. Trent Dilfer, my man.
Well, you have to have won before
Quarterback
that
wins.
too.
Woo!
You have to win before that too. You have
And
to
my
win with
question
your
is, where-
first team and then go to a second team and win.
Where
That's
did
the
Dilfer start
difference.
after that?
Okay, let me get this kicked off properly. Welcome, gentlemen, to the first official multi-panel broadcast of Dueling Aces. As everybody can plainly see, we have a cast of multiple fantasy football well, I'll say it. Okay, why not? What the hell? Experts, as far as our groupings may go.
I'm supposed to log off now.
Hey, wait, let me finish. Joining us, it is not Gabriel Sudbury, but it is Chris, the Sudbury Rule Sudbury. We have Zolt down in here in the other corner. Mr. Try and Stop Me Durkin, Mr. Ryan, and he is accidental anal. And
Here because George is paying me.
and of course we have Mr. Mike. I have too many bowling balls in my bag. Acres, and we have Mr. Schrods, who is joining us audio only, which is quite all right, but at least he's still here. So we are chit-chatting about anything and everything so far with football people and stats. And did you guys see the new Atlanta Falcons jerseys, by the way? Have you seen the new release of that?
Are they actually going to use those?
4 different jerseys. It's like being the Cleveland Browns.
Browns are going to have 6.
I thought they already had 6. Didn't they cut it back down to 4?
They're bringing out new ones this year.
Oh, damn.
What, the Dolphins uniform again?
Oh, Jesus. Well, the purpose of this panel, of course, is to do an ultimate fantasy football draft of any player in NFL history from the infancy in 1892 all the way up to today. So we will be drafting quarterback in round 1, running backs in round 2 and 3, wide receivers in 4, 5, and 6, 2 tight ends, 7 and 8, a kicker in round 9, and a head coach in round 10.
Fonts.
We will be rotating around the draft who starts. Once we get past 7, we'll do odds and evens and back and forth from there, since we lost a couple other panelists that I tried to get to, but that's all right. The order, the randomizer, also known as Bryce, terrifically picked me for first pick for like 4 times in a row, and I told him the guys aren't going to quite like that, so we need to come up with something else, try it again, and eventually he had Mike as the first pick. So I said, oh, that's just great. So without further ado, why don't we get this kicked off? And Mr. Akers, who, as the very first pick, who is your quarterback that you'd like to be on your team, sir?
Oh man, this was kind of a hard one.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are favoritism out there. I mean, I'm not a favoritism guy. I mean,
They should be able to
drafting this guy as a first pick, it was kind of hard, you know. I mean, I watched this guy growing up. He had a lot of games, you know, and coming down to the wire.
John Elway.
He did win a Super Bowl.
Just
You know, so I mean, going through the list, I had to like really cross the names off, like, you know, Tim Couch, Joe Flacco, Matt Stafford, John Elway. And the hardest one for me was between the 2 guys that got left was Troy Aikman and Tom Brady.
Well, that shouldn't be too tough.
So, you know, it was pretty much, if I'm going to start a dynasty, this guy's going to have to be winning me all the way through. So, you know, I'm going to go with the oldest quarterback to win a Super Bowl. And he's only lost 3 of them. So I'm going to take the boy Tom Brady.
Yep. I wrote that down for you about 3 minutes ago. But thank you for the dialogue.
In case you were trying to Google that to find that information out.
I don't mind Tom Brady being finished
He
here.
was a little hard on that situation. Like, he had 74,000 passing yards, 541 touchdowns, 4 MVP.
We're not asking for a stat record.
You don't have to justify the greatest quarterback of all time being your first pick. You don't have to do that.
I was getting him in case Stafford wanted to come back up on the roster again.
I mean, Brady's got a ring for all 5 fingers plus you know, thumb on the next
One for
finger.
the middle for Goodell. He's got one for the middle.
Get the first pick.
But you know what? If
you gotta vamp a little bit, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I say, you know, I never really liked the Patriots, but like I said, there's no favoritism on me. I don't really do a lot of I hate this guy. I'm not picking him unless you're in the Steelers program. But yeah, I mean, Tom Brady's just going to be that guy. He's going to start your dynasty off. I mean, look what he's done since '99. Well, actually 2000, really. But I mean, he's just been your go-to guy. And most of the Super Bowls, actually, I think 3 Super Bowls, he's only had 2 receivers and 1 tight end for 3 of them. All the other ones have been replaced almost every time he's gone in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, that right there, it's not like you got your same receivers all the time you go in. So, shoot him through.
And he hasn't had a running back in almost all of those years, too.
I know, besides Dylan.
Yeah.
Well, he did have that one guy. If he would have been a great running back if he would have set his fucking alarm clock.
Wow.
All he had to do was set the alarm clock.
How you doing,
He-
Chaz?
The dude would be one of the best
Welcome.
running backs of all time. Set your damn alarm clock. How does that dude never get a job again?
Yeah.
He never plays another down in the NFL.
Mhm.
But he rushed for 200 yards that one game?
For the Super Bowl, ended up showing up late.
Oh, Jesus.
Didn't even play in the Super Bowl. Never played a game again.
All right, Shrods, you're up. Andrew, you're on, dude. Shrods.
He's on the clock.
He's taking call. He's looking
I
for
think
that
he's
trade.
getting elbowed.
He better have muted himself.
Can you guys hear me or no?
There you are.
There you are.
It's your
He's
pick,
been
though.
talking the whole time.
You're on the clock. You got 5 seconds.
All right, 5 seconds. Tom Brady. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow,
Honestly,
another one of those. Wait a minute,
You guys-
Ryan. Isn't it $1 every time you get a repeat, right?
Yes.
Or $1?
I'm actually
every round after that, it's how many dollars per round?
keeps stacking up. I actually live 15 minutes from the Patriots Stadium, and I do have my Tommy Brady jersey on right now. I had 2 guys slotted in my position. I had Brady, and then I think the only other quarterback that could potentially be in that same argument with him, and he didn't lose Super Bowls, and he was 4-0.
Damn,
and
come on.
That's Joey Montana. So
Yeah, I knew that
Yeah.
shit.
those were the 2 guys that I
Crap.
went through, and I think he's the only other one that you could put in the argument with him. I mean, you go 4 times, you don't lose a single one. Like, how can you argue with having him as a consolation prize to Brady? So
Yeah,
Who was his running back and receivers?
what's that?
There's too many
Who
to list, Akers.
Who was his running backs and receivers in those Super Bowls?
Hey, still got to make the throw though. And
There's
I
some
mean,
dude, I forget his name. Something like I don't know.
Rice.
Ben and Jerry. No, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice, Roger Craig.
I was going to say, Roger Craig is one unsung hero
Tyler.
because he was a hell of a running back.
Yes, he was.
But no,
All right,
Montana's
Mr.
a sweet pick. He's
Mr.
Dude,
Burns.
Yeah, Montana is a sweet pick.
With Gary falling out, you are next up, sir.
Who I am? All right. Going back and forth, Mike always talks about homers.
Tim
Yeah.
Couch coming. It's
oh
coming. Tim
Jesus
Couch.
Christ! It's gonna be Otto Graham, isn't it?
No,
It-
wait a minute. No.
Well, it is between Otto Graham and when you go to 10 championship games in a row, you have an 8-10 winning percentage as a starter, the best in NFL history. But you also have a guy who's thrown for 4,000 yards 14 times, 13 times 4,000 yards, 1 time 5,000. Only quarterback, one of 8 quarterbacks with 7 touchdowns in a game. 71,000, almost 72,000 yards passing, 539 touchdowns. I wanted to be like this guy growing up. I'm going to go with Peyton Manning.
All righty.
We taking Peyton Manning as the Colts quarterback or Denver's quarterback?
He's taking Peyton Manning as Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Peyton Manning. It doesn't matter. Hey, last year in Denver, he almost threw for 5,000 yards. So it doesn't matter if it was Colts or
Oh, I
Denver.
know. Oh, he's
Omaha.
good. I was actually great. Like I said, to see something like him be able to move from one team to another and still keep going. It was great.
He is the only quarterback to win Super Bowls with 2 different franchises.
Yep.
I was
Well-
shocked when I saw that today. I thought there would be like 1 or 2 more, but he's the only one.
Nope.
And I'm on next. And I kind of figured that, my faves were going to be gone at this point too. But I also had to think of, Durkin actually got me thinking into the argument about, why he was going what he was thinking too. And, it's like easy odds on favorite to say, well, you just go with Mahomes and whatnot. But no, the guy who I actually had on multiple teams that it was a consistent guy. I mean, the numbers were good; they were always there, and that's Drew Brees. I mean, there's just if it's consistency every single year, that's a guy right now who just keeps plugging it away. So my choice is Mr. Brees.
He was my fourth quarterback. I had him number 4, behind Otto Graham, Joe Montana, and Manning.
Graham was a thought, but I I was sitting there going, I I I like the consistency of Breeze, and I was sticking to my guns on that one.
He'd
So-
be considered the best short quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
times he's thrown for 5,000 yards or more in a season. That's a hell of a stat right there.
Yep.
it is. It's huge.
It's kind of
Good.
average now, though, during this stretch of our generation. I mean, this shit you're throwing for Stafford's throwing for 5,000 yards.
I was
Hell
looking
yeah,
at my
he is.
stats
Better
today.
believe it.
He didn't even have a season where he was above 3,500 yards in one season.
Nope. Because he always had a strong running game too, and
Very true.
that's exactly what the West Coast offense. Even though you sit there and think, oh yeah, it's all the quick action, but boy, the running was just as strong.
Hmm.
Mr. Durkin, Mr. Try and Stop Me, you are up next, sir.
Well, you guys have made this really easy for me because he really left off probably the best quarterback ever, but he never won a Super Bowl.
George
Oh,
Plunk.
fuck, he just took my guy. I know
61,000
exactly who he's doing.
fucking yards,
Yeah.
9 Pro Bowls, and an MVP. Danny Dimes, Dan Marino
Oh,
is the choice.
at least he went to one Super Bowl.
He went to a Super Bowl, but he didn't win it.
No.
That's okay.
At least he got to go to one.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
beat by Joe Monte.
watch his highlights. Look at the dimes he throws compared to like little Tom Duncan dive Brady or Breeze or the quarterbacks nowadays. They just dunk off to Kamara or whoever the hell they have. Dan Marino was he was revolutionary. Probably the best quarterback
With
in
the
NFL
Clayton
history.
brothers,
Mhm.
who grew up some of the
That's
greatest
fine.
wide receivers.
I'll take the
Around
best
at
quarterback
that time.
ever at number 5.
He's another one, Akers, who didn't really have a good running back either.
No, he had
No.
no running back. He never had a running back.
Plus,
Yep.
who else in this group has starred with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
There we go.
And that was a very good movie.
Heinz gets Velvet.
Just missed it left.
Einhorn is Finkel.
All right, Dave Zolt, you are up next, sir.
All right. I keep hearing talk about Super Bowls and playoffs and all that kind of stuff. I care about fantasy numbers. I don't care about playoffs. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about wins. All I care about is numbers. So
Uh-oh.
47,000 yards, 360 touchdowns, 28 rushing touchdowns, 3,000 rushing yards.
Well,
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
I didn't know he had that many yards rushing.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't either. You had me fooled for a minute. I thought you were going John Elway.
So, no.
He's in round 6 out of 5.
Well, he said all them
Cleveland
rushing yards. I was waiting for Michael Vick, but as he said all them passing yards, I said, "Oh, there, go ahead and scratch that off."
Yeah.
Congratulations for taking the second best quarterback ever to play for Green Bay.
You're welcome.
All right, Suds. Last but not least,
Well,
what's up this debacle?
this is not going to be on anybody's list.
Uh-oh.
No, it's
A mere
out of
number.
everybody you talk to, not one of you guys had mentioned the one person who went to 4 Super Bowls in a row, even though he lost them,
Hey, I
Jim
was
Kelly.
going to say it. I was going to say it, but I didn't say it.
Jim Kelly. Now, before all this, let's throw the ball all over the place. This dude threw for 35,000 yards in his career. He averaged more than 3,000 yards per season in throwing the ball. And with the 4 Super Bowls in a row, and I don't believe there's any other quarterback that actually do that. So I went with Jim Kelly.
Okay.
See, I consider him and Dan Marino lower tier on the first tier because they didn't win a Super Bowl.
But
Plus,
he's the only. But the difference is he went to 4, Marino went to 1.
but they all lost.
Yeah, and quarterback wins is really dumb. So, 61,000 yards.
All right, Mr. Shrods, you are going to kick us off for the running backs. You get the first pick out of the running backs here.
Oh. I know
This
he's.
was a
Come on.
this was an interesting one. I think probably the most hotly debated position out of any of them, just because there's a quarterback. As a quarterback, I think there's just kind of one type of quarterback, but as a running back, there's so many different kinds. There's your power running backs. There's your kind of flashy type, running backs and things like that. But I think being from Michigan, being from Detroit,
Yeah, you bet.
I think I'd be. I wouldn't be allowed to go home if I didn't take, for me, the best running back of all time, and that's Barry Sanders.
No, there's no argument. There's
Can't argue that.
we move on.
He is a top 5. You're right.
If you want to try and argue it, watch his Oklahoma State highlights after you watch the NFL highlights, and you will not
Right.
be able to argue it anymore.
Yep,
There you go.
exactly.
Except for when he was the backup at Oklahoma.
I think the guy he was a backup to was a decent running back as well.
I would say so.
He did pretty decently in the NFL. I think he may actually even make it on this list too. So we'll see.
Mr. Burrich, you are the next pick in this round for running back, sir.
I got to go with the one and only, the best running back ever in NFL history.
Hmm.
And,
This is a Cleveland Brown person.
and
Never mind.
wait a minute,
We know this one coming.
Wait a minute. 7 times over 1,000 yards, 5 times over 1,400 yards, only in 14 games. Plus, he was an All-American in lacrosse at Syracuse. Jim Brown.
Plus, he was running over a lot of little 5'8"
dudes.
white guys.
Yeah. Congratulations. In lacrosse, he ran over the 5'7" white guy.
All I know is every time he got hit, it looked like he got hit by a truck. But it doesn't matter how big, how small you were. You look at his films, he always looked like he got hit by a truck. That next play, he run you over for a 50-yard touchdown.
He only played 118 games.
Yeah, no. He rushed for 12,000.
Everybody else in the roster about 20 games is over 150 plus, and he only played 118.
Yeah.
Best
And remember,
season-
the pads were quite thin back then, too.
his
But
best
he also had 106 touchdowns. I mean, that's tremendous. But say that's almost every game he's played, he scored a touchdown.
His best season was 1,863 yards in 14 games. Imagine if he would have played 16 games. It would have been 2,200 yards easily.
Yeah, that's pretty damn scary.
It is.
Next slated up is me. I actually am going with a guy who shares in the same name. I took Eddie George as my running back, number 1.
Yep.
Technically two different teams, one organization, but still, I mean, to still survive that long, be the first guy on the Madden cover, he didn't do too bad. Not too bad at all. Mr. Durkin, the floor is
Someone
yours.
take George's alcohol away from him, please.
I mean,
You
He
have
got really low for that one, didn't he?
I'm the one drinking, and I wouldn't have done that.
this is unbelievable that I could pick 4th and I could still pick. And it pains me because he's always compared to Barry as one of the top running backs in NFL history. For smart people that don't think Jim Brown was the best, I have to go with Walter Payton.
Not a bad choice.
I
either.
thought that was actually going to be like number 2 or number 3, but
That's what I was
Yeah,
going
I
to say.
mean,
I thought he was going to be number 2, number 3
people-
also.
I
smoking
had a
something
3.
here.
I mean, 16,000 yards plus. And just, you don't have to, it's Walter Payton. He can move directions in the midair. He's Walter Payton.
10 years with 1,200 yards or more. That's
Yeah.
that's a hell of a stat.
Absolutely.
And the thing that gets him too, he has over 4,500 yards receiving too. It wasn't just like he was just, running. He was there
Yeah.
for second down and take him out on third. He was there every down.
And the only reason he's not still the leading rusher is because Emmitt Smith played for 3 years or 2 years with the Cardinals or whatever in that little pathetic stint.
Yeah, that little extra year just to take the numbers away. Mr. Zolt, you are up next, sir.
Yeah, and really now this brings down to a choice. There's like 5 or 6 guys that could go right in this area. You already named one. I was really tempted to go with him. But instead, I'm going to go with the guy who played actually fewer games, and because of that, got fewer yards. So 13,000 yards rushing, 145 touchdowns scored in only 170 games. LaDainian Tomlinson. Per game, he just scores a bit more consistent.
Who were the receivers when he was playing?
Jeez.
Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates. Yeah, exactly.
We know
Keenan
Gates.
Allen. I don't know.
I don't even think he was there.
That's
when
probably too young.
Not Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
You want to talk purely fantasy, like Dave? Like he's one guy that I think in a single season probably won. Anybody that had him probably won their league if they had Tomlinson that one year.
Yeah.
That the TD record.
But the thing with his team, though, is you always kind of forget him, only because his team never went far in the playoffs.
Vincent
Marty.
Jackson.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I mean, Vincent Jackson was his primary. So, and then it was Gates, Tomlinson.
Can we do a side note?
Lorenzo Neal.
Did anybody see that list of like all decade team online where they had Travis Kelce over Antonio Gates? Is anybody else disgusted besides me for that omission?
That's a funny thing you say that.
That all decades team was just a total joke. It was an absolute joke.
I mean, there were some good picks, but Kelce over Gates?
I'm sorry, but half of those reporters are still in their 20s and they don't know anybody else.
Yeah, recency bias. But anyway, sorry, I digress. I apologize. But you
fine.
said Antonio Gates, and it just got me thinking.
Mr. Sudbury, you are up next, sir.
I got a dilemma. I have a major problem because I had 2 guys. I just can't get past Eric Dickerson. You can say a lot about all these dudes, but I don't know a lot of them that rushed for over 2,100 yards in one season. And he almost did it for 2 seasons in a row. He had 1,800 in the second, and in the third season he did 1,600. He did 13,000 yards for his career in just rushing alone. And he played for shit teams, but still put up just these huge numbers. So I got to go with Eric Dickerson.
I didn't think he was that good until I looked up all his stats today. I'm like,
it's just
crap,
amazing.
What was I missing? You know?
I have another guy going, and I'm I'm about to go with him, but I can't get past Eric Dickerson's numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, he played for a shit team his entire career.
He played for 2.
Yeah. And he put up just these huge fucking numbers, and they put 11 people in the box to try to stop him. They still couldn't do it. And he held the rushing record for one game for a decade, 2 decades. It's just amazing what he did to play for such crap teams. He's like the Barry Sanders of the Rams.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was just amazing career. So I got to go with Mr. Dickerson on that one.
Who was the other team he played for?
The Colts, I believe.
Okay.
Mr. Akers, you are up next, sir.
Well, you guys all basically took out some of the people I had to list, but wasn't on my list just because I knew where I was sitting. Which actually kind of a shocker is who's still there a little bit. It's actually kind of hard. I mean, once again, growing up watching this guy rush the football, not that he had an expensive quarterback with him, and he had receivers that help him spread out the pattern. I mean, Emmitt Smith was another one just to keep going, and
he didn't have wide receivers.
He did.
He did.
Okay, I was gonna say. I thought you said he didn't. I'm like,
Oh, he had what was it? Clark. He had Irwin Jr. You know, he had gaps behind him that allow him to stay out. He could catch the pass on the outside for the slot.
and Michael Irving. Don't forget him.
No, that's what I'm saying. He had Irvin. You know,
I didn't say. I thought that you said somebody else. Sorry.
No, I say, you know, it was just pretty amazing to watch him play. But really, I was really mad about how I hate how a guy leaves a team and then goes to another team, such as, you know, Peyton Manning, and does something. But when he went to the Cardinals, he really didn't do too much, but he still put up some numbers.
The whole purpose was to get the rushing title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I wish,
Which in my personal opinion, is a dick move.
I just hate when players leave teams and know they're so good and just stay, you know, retire and stay there. Where you're at, who cares? You know, you could have went down whether Walter Payton was going to be the top guy or not. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're still one of the top 3 guys.
Yeah, I think the argument against Emmitt Smith's always going to be he arguably had probably the greatest offensive line put together, not just for 1 year, but for multiple years. And
There you go.
on top of Aikman, on top of Irving, on top of
Thanks to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I scratched
God, I
that
hate the
motherfucker
Vikings.
off my list, Mr. Walker. I won't even give him the time of day.
Wow.
Well, another one I want to give a time of day is Earl Campbell. Everybody thinks he's like one of the best. He only played 6 damn seasons. I was
going to say that's why Eddie George was even better than Earl.
Oh yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. Earl Campbell was a good running back, but you know these guys were playing 10, 12, 14, 16 years that we're all picking. He played 6 years, 7 years at the most, and then he was done. So I don't.
You got to put Terrell Davis above him.
Don't get me wrong. Like I said, he's a good running back, but not one of the best.
Mr. Burrich, you are kicking us off for round 3 with the running backs.
So this is tough. So I have like 3 or 4 guys right now.
You can only pick one.
Well, how about a half of one?
Ethan doesn't count. Sorry.
Who?
Your son doesn't count.
He was a center. 3 guys that I'm considering. All of them were just, you know, great Hall of Famers, but I think this one I'm going to go with. I think the reason why I'm going with him is because he was one of the better backs out of the backfield to catch the ball, and I'm going to go.
This is the guy I was picking.
I'm going to go with Thurman Thomas.
Oh, cool.
Thurman Thomas.
He had 4,500 yards receiving out of the backfield, which you don't hear about that anymore. Yeah, he only had one season where he was, over 10 touchdowns, but eight times he had 1,000 yards rushing in a season. He had 65 touchdowns, but he also had 2 great receivers with him too. So, and I think he's one of the unsung heroes of those teams because I think he was the perfect running back to complement Kelly and all the receivers. So I'm gonna go with Thurman Thomas.
Nice. I'm on next. I was thinking, okay, there's still going to be plenty of guys here, but I kept thinking, there's a guy who was literally an innovator when it came to making the running back position. I mean, he wasn't even just the player, he also coached literally while he was also playing.
I'm going old school.
Oh, yeah, I'm hitting old school pretty hard. 9 different teams eventually. And coached 5 of them. And was the first team All-Pro, an all-decade team member, plus 2-time All-American, plus a 2-time Olympian. Plus he also played pro baseball and basketball.
Which those stats don't count for this.
Yeah, I know, but it's got to still get told and noted for, and I definitely, he literally, he is the Hall of Fame. When you walk in the door, the man is standing, the bust is in full-fledged standing there in front of you. And that is Jim Thorpe.
No argument.
I mean, what can you say? I mean,
when you have the statue at the Hall of Fame and it's in the front. You just really can't argue with it.
Yeah.
I think I've seen articles where he was voted the athlete of the century. So not just from an NFL perspective, but just from a pure athleticism, like to be voted the number one athlete for basically for the century. I mean, you can't argue with that one.
No, you can't.
That was last century, though.
That's when George was born.
That's right.
Careful, I'm older, damn it.
All right, Zolt. Or I'm sorry, Durkin, you are up next.
All right. Well, I actually thought this guy might go a little bit sooner. I've been sitting here listening to you guys, thinking you all were going to take him, but I'm looking at a guy with almost 20,000 yards combined, almost 12,000 rushing, about 7,000 receiving. Won an NFL MVP as a running back.
Yeah.
Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk. That was the one I was referring to. almost 20,000 total.
Yeah, almost
combined.
20,000. I mean, he's at like 19 and some change. I mean, that's a pretty impressive stat line. Greatest show on turf. What are you gonna do? He was generational. He I don't know. I just like him.
How many receiving yards did he have again?
6,875 according to my Google search.
Damn it. To have someone come out of the backfield like that is you can't beat it. You cannot beat it.
No, and the offensive scheme that was played, it was sick. I mean, between both, I'll even say it because I even set it up on Friday night. I said I put Marshall right coming out of the Colts. He was even solid before he got to the Rams system.
Oh yeah, he was a name.
It was extremely similar, and he just got a boost.
Another running back that had a receiver and a quarterback to be able to get rid of the ball to him.
True.
You know, he had Torrey Holt. You know, yeah. I mean,
Isaac Bruce too.
They were the team.
Bruce.
They
mean,
were
it was
the
a
team
good
that
team.
got up in there as a 9-8 team, and then the wild card team, and then to win the Super Bowl. I mean, if it wasn't for Marshall in the championship game, they probably would have never gone to that Super Bowl in '99.
If they would have had Chris Everett there, Jim Everett, they would have been all right. All right.
Zolt, you are up, Mr. Zolt.
All right.
Hey, like, it feels like I'm last. Like I'm picking here.
No.
Like I've been waiting forever.
All right.
There's only 7 of us.
Going for
Seven. I
You're
count seven.
not going anywhere, Suds.
I'm not. Really, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere.
going for more as a pure rusher. 14,000 yards rushing, 111 touchdowns. 9,000 yard seasons, including a 2,000 yard season. Adrian Peterson.
Who was it?
Adrian Peterson.
Oh, AP. Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, man. Took my guy.
yeah, he was up there. I mean,
not him.
I was thinking about AP, but I wanted to like get it out of the modern era a little bit more, so I went a little bit more old school. But AP, yeah, that's a hell of a choice.
What do you expect? I mean, he just switched every cornerback he kept coming in front of.
The thing that
Yeah,
made,
he definitely he switched them up. He definitely pulled that switch out on him.
the thing that amazed me about him was he went 7 straight years with 10+ touchdowns. Then he gets hurt, comes back and rushes for almost 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's a hell of a player.
Dickerson's record that year too.
Yeah,
What's that?
that's sick.
He almost broke Dickerson's record that year too when he was going after that record.
29-7, I think it was.
Yeah. It was really hard with him seeing that, and I don't believe this for a fact. I'm sure the coach knew how many rushing yards he had in that game to see if he can get to that record or not. And if they can just get that ball back, they'd definitely let him run 2 more times.
Frozen.
Oh yeah.
Akers, you're up next.
Ugh.
Hey, who'd you pick, Suds?
I haven't picked in a while. I picked Eric Dickerson like a half hour ago.
No.
Oh.
No. Suds, you are up next.
See, I'm watching out for you, son.
Thank you. I appreciate it because I think I have gotten screwed in this somehow.
Just because I wanted to mess with him, it's like, yeah, I know Suds is up next. Before Suds,
Yeah, I'm
you are up.
also another guy
Suds,
that
you
likes
are up
the.
next.
Hold on, Mike.
Hey, Mike, hang on.
Yep.
I was screwing with Chris. It is
Oh.
Chris's pick.
Oh, it's Chris's pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is Chris's
Damn
pick.
it.
Oh man, listen, now you're gonna make me.
Now, I don't think anybody's got this dude on his list whatsoever. But he was
Okay.
the first African American to win the MVP. And as a running back, he has also over 12,000 yards in rushing and over 2,000 yards in receptions. And I don't recall anybody else on anybody's list that has 4 Super Bowl rings on top of that. That's Franco Harris for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
F Steelers.
Yeah, that's Steelers.
I'm with them.
I had him on the list, and I literally deleted his whole information.
I bet you did. Any criticism will be coming from the Ohio people.
I only
And
have
the
one
Michigan
Steeler on
people.
my list.
The Michigan people don't count. They haven't won a damn thing in when did they ever win anything in the NFL?
Oh.
Their championship shelf's looking like Walmart right now with the toilet papers.
Right next to the Cleveland Browns championships.
I know we won.
Hey, that's not true. We got championships.
We got
No,
championships.
I said Cleveland Brown
do we.
championships. Brown
Yeah.
championships.
Yeah, they got championships.
About the
do we.
same time the Lions got their championship.
Yeah, we beat your ass in 57.
That's the one you get.
Yeah.
You know what? That's one that's on my shelf.
Brady has won more playoff games than
Shut
the Detroit
up.
Lions and the Browns combined in the history of both teams.
Akers, you are up, sir.
Oh man. Oh, I was trying to find Franco to take him off my list, but yeah. Go ahead, George. So I mean, you know what? I'm gonna go with this nice out west guy, probably one of the fastest running backs ever. I mean, not even the cops could stop him.
O.J. Simpson, baby.
You put
He
this
should have
guy
played for the Broncos.
God, him and his 11,000 yards. He only had 130 games. Oh, geez. Only imagine if he could actually just keep going and see what really would have happened with him.
He ran out of gloves.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Apparently, the first trash can he finds, he puts the weapon in. So,
wow. We're going straight to hell for this one.
Actually,
Well, he'll get there first, hopefully.
I had him in my top 4. I think he was a hell of a running back.
yeah, that's why I said, he's in my list, and they just had to put him out there. That's the fastest Bronco to ever go out in the world. I mean, even John Elway's probably wishing you had him.
Yeah.
Hey, when you can rush
Wouldn't
for
that be ironic for him to play for the Broncos?
I mean, he hit the hole and he took a hell of a first slash.
He
yeah.
did, what, 11 years, 8. What was that again?
Hey. Heads up. Keep the heads up, man. Heads up.
Oh, jeez. Schroeds, please get us out of here. Pick the last running back, please.
I'm just glad somebody picked that motherfucker. That was great.
Please.
The jokes alone, man, he could have been the worst running back of all time, just so he made the list, so he could tell these freaking jokes.
Oh, please.
When you said West Coast, I thought you were actually you were going to take who I honestly I'm floored. I can't believe he's still left on the list. And honestly, this one was difficult because some people may look at him and say he's not even the best player on his team ever. But I have Barry Sanders. For those of you that have played Super Tecmo Bowl, there's probably maybe only one other running back in that game that's better than him. And this is the only player ever in the history to have be nominated as an all-star, not only in the NFL, but also in Major League Baseball. And unfortunately, his career was cut short, but that's Bo Jackson. The guy was an absolute beast of a running back.
He was on my list.
Shouldn't there be
that
at least a
Tecmo
limit
Bowl
of
reference
3
got me.
seasons played?
I agree. He played 4.
He played 4?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
He still plays in all of our Tecmo Bowl.
In a Tecmo Bowl.
I was just playing it.
All-Star Techno Bowl doesn't count.
Yes, it does. It counts to me.
It does.
It counts right here, right in my heart.
I
Warren
agree.
Moon had nothing.
Bo Jackson is probably one of the best athletes in my lifetime.
Yep.
But he also had Marcus Allen with him, who I think was probably just a little bit better. But I don't blame you for picking Bo Jackson though.
No.
Well, I think that's where the difficult, like, I mean, how do you take one over the other one? I think if I'm putting together a team from a fantasy perspective, Bo Jackson's got to be the guy. Like Marcus Allen, yeah, he was Mr. Reliable. He was there. He was definitely a serviceable. He was a good running back, probably one of the greats. But when you look at it from purely a fantasy-based perspective, like
He
Bo
spent more
Jackson's
time in
bringing
college
the
than he did in the pros.
That's fine.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, he was a Heisman Trophy winner too, so you can't take that away from him either. The guy was just an absolute monster.
Sure they can. They took it from OJ.
Oh, for the love of God. We're past that, Suds. Come on.
No, you open the door. You'll open the door for me. You got me on. You know this shit's coming.
Well, guess what? It's round 4, and we're moving on to wide receivers.
Oh, we got criminals in there too. Don't worry about it.
Oh, well, I'm not starting there.
Charles
So,
Rodgers.
I am.
Charles Rodgers out there, baby. You know we got a Lions fan down there.
Well, you've got the 49ers fan here first. So, of course, the ultimate wide receiver is Jerry Rice, and that is the first pick.
He gets
Easily.
extra bonus for Dancing with the Stars.
Wow.
Oh,
Are you serious? He finished in second. He didn't win.
Didn't Calvin win? I'm sorry.
No, Calvin didn't
That's
win.
the only championship he's gonna get.
No.
Get on Dancing with the Stars.
Twinkle
Durkin,
Dozen.
since I've taken Rice, Mr. Durkin, you are next up on the clock. Really? Wow.
You have the second pick.
Yeah, it's
Come
gonna
on
be.
now.
I mean, you
Why
knew
don't-
Jerry was
guys.
going one.
I just got to get to try to stop me before it because you know who he's gonna pick. He's got to pick him.
He has to pick him. I'm surprised he's hesitating.
Yeah,
He's
you're
only
right.
wearing-
Calvin
He's only
Johnson.
wearing the jersey. You know, he's only got the jersey on for
Jesus.
crying out loud. I mean,
Who?
it
Who did you
wasn't
say?
that hard.
Calvin Johnson.
Jeez.
6'5", sub 4.40, 38-inch vertical jump, athleticism alone. If we're talking about Bo Jackson getting drafted, Calvin Johnson, he almost put up 2,000. He was what, 30 yards short of 2,000 yards in 2012? Come on now.
he was a
And
beast.
any Dallas Cowboys fan can just watch that game where he put up 329 on him,
Ooh.
and they'll be reminded of how great Calvin Johnson was and how unstoppable he was.
If they just had a coach, they'd be.
If they just had a coach. If
You're right.
they just had something.
He says
But-
Homer. Joey says Homer.
That's fine.
100% a homer.
Who'd you take over him? Well, we'll find out.
Jerry
Well,
Rice.
You know,
Five guys I take
Jerry
over.
Rice already gone.
I'm gonna say Rice.
Well, you said who will you take over him? Jerry Rice.
Mr. Zolt, you are on next, sir.
All right, this is pretty easy. 15,000 yards, 156 touchdowns. Randy
Yeah.
Moss.
Yes.
Can't go wrong.
That's who I would take over Calvin Johnson as well.
Yes.
I was going to do that until I got peer pressured into Calvin. By
Yeah, I
George.
mean, Calvin put up lower numbers, but he only
Dude, you'd
played
have to burn that
135
jersey
games.
if you didn't take him.
The guy was a freak too, because he was also 6'4", 6'5", but he was only like 200 pounds, 210.
Have you seen his son?
Oh, I know.
Holy
The
shit.
tight end from LSU is a beast.
Yeah, dude, you know his dad got hold of those steroids. He's been jacking that kid up since he's like 9. There's no doubt. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's no way that skinny ass motherfucker had that kid. Because there's no way that's it. No, that dude's been on steroids since he was 9. He's going to be one of the best tight ends in the National Football League, but his ass should have been drug tested in Pee Wee football.
So,
It was in his blood before he was born. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was conceived on the steroids.
Jesus.
You wanted it bigger.
Suds, you're up.
Well,
What? No criminal? Come on. Who's your first criminal?
I am going to go with the drug user.
Jesus. Oh.
You know, I am going there. You know, one of the best hands in the all time in the NFL. All he did was catch touchdowns. And Chris
Damn
Carter,
it, you! I would.
gotcha.
You did.
I know.
That was
Chris
my
Carter. That's his title. All I do is catch touchdowns.
That was the
How do
best.
you not take him?
That was the best nickname Chris Berman came up with. Chris Carter. All he does is catch touchdowns.
Mhm.
So you had to go with him. Didn't win a damn thing.
And going from fantasy point of view, that's what's
Yeah, you
receivers.
get the most points for it.
Yep.
And that's the purpose of the show. Other than crack jokes at stupid picks.
Back-to-back Minnesota Vikings wide receivers.
He was my number one pick.
Well, look what those receivers had to catch for.
You know what? Randy Moss was a Minnesota wide receiver, but he really got his legacy with New England in those couple of years there. Like he reproved himself after the Oakland years. So I don't want to give complete credit to Minnesota for Randy Moss.
But that's
No, because Belichick drug tests over there.
Nope.
He doesn't allow crackheads anymore. So he had to stop the pipe.
No,
he got most of his numbers in Minnesota.
I don't care. He redeemed himself.
Just like party interrupting. Can we put him on mute?
Nope.
no, this is not around the horn. No,
Yeah,
they
that
don't
one.
get muted and lose their points. Sorry. That's you want
The
that
duck
show.
pen on
That's on
that.
ESPN.
I mean, technically, it's not wrong. Moss's best season was in New England, so I mean,
He was. Well, of course. I mean, look who he had though as for the best season. I mean, but Randy made his name up in Minnesota, making him one-handed catches with Dante Culpepper. You know, I mean,
because Culpepper couldn't throw the ball.
Right, what was the other quarterback? He had Brad. What's his nuts?
Brad
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Red Johnson.
I think Favre threw to him one year too, didn't he? Did he have Favre
No.
one year?
He was-
No.
no, he didn't have.
All and gone by then.
No, Favre was in Minnesota.
If Randy Moss was there when Favre was there, they'd have done one another Super Bowl.
They came
Yeah.
close without him.
Waylon said, "Look up Randy Moss's high school basketball highlights with white chocolate Jason Williams." Also,
Yeah,
he
sorry,
said,
we don't have that
"Look
kind of
up
time.
Why can't we ever do anything without fucking
We don't,
Waylon?
have, we don't have that kind of time, Waylon. Akers, you're up next.
Oh man, the list on this one, Jesus. It was kind of hard with me on this one since you guys took out Randy on me. I was thinking I was gonna be able to, snag Randy. Well, I knew I wasn't gonna get Jerry to the person who was getting the first pick. I love watching this guy, and when he made it to the Super Bowl and lost it with Rich Gannon, it was pretty horrible, and losing it to the Bucs. But yeah, Tim Brown, he was really good. He had he was targeted 1,643 times, caught 1,094 times, 66% on catching. It was good. He had 100 touchdowns.
And a very long career, too.
He did.
9 straight 1,000 yards receiving.
Yep, that's sick.
And not only that, he was
Quarterbacks.
plus no one really in his first couple of years.
5?
But
5 different quarterbacks, right?
oh yeah, but his
Something like that.
returning yards as a punt returner and a kick returner too are a big plus for him too.
His first 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn you, Akers! I hate you.
Strads, you are up next, sir.
I feel like this guy's been playing for forever, and he's still going strong. But he's a guy that I think, from a fantasy perspective, has just been in the top 5, top 3, potentially even top number 1 wide receiver over the last decade and a half. But it's got to be Larry Fitzgerald. He's just been reliable. He's been back and forth with quarterbacks. He's had some good ones, and he's had some ones that probably nobody here could even name. But the guy just puts up numbers, whether it's receptions or yards. He's just been consistent for a very long time. But great wide receiver.
Yeah, hard to argue with 17,000 yards.
And he's never hurt.
Yeah, he's never hurt.
That's true.
You can't go wrong with a top-notch receiver that has never hurt.
Not at all. Not at all. Oh, I lost my stupid screen. Well, just because Bryce said he wants one picked, I was like, all right, fine. So my next pick for
Hey,
wide
what the hell?
receivers is
Hey,
part of this squad back
I
here.
haven't picked yet,
Oh,
asshole.
I know.
Yeah, it was all fun and games when he was doing that shit to me.
I know. Just for that, I'm going on a 5-minute rant. So this
Nope.
guy was drafted played high school at, since I picked this guy in the first round, I got to go with his receiver. You got to go with Marvin Harrison.
Yes.
He had 143 receptions in 1 year. He had 14,500 yards receiving, 128 TDs, 8 straight years of 1,000 more yards and 10 touchdowns in 1 year. You can't go. His best year was 1,700 yards and 15 touchdowns twice. So you can't go wrong with that. Now you're George. You're up.
Please pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Akers, you're hosting next week.
Well, I'm flipping back and forth between the spreadsheet too. So when I was setting that up, so
And I already know who George is picking.
yeah, really,
Yeah.
So round 2 wide receivers.
yeah,
Yeah.
You want to guess it? Go right ahead.
Okay. You're
What's your-
picking Steve Largent.
Yep. Nice
He
pick.
is up there.
Nice picks. Yes, I am taking Steve Largent. My son is recently, of course, learning all about his historical Seahawks figures. But yes, he has a very keen interest in Mr. Largent. And he said, "Dad, did you know he's in Congress?" I was like, "Yes, I know he was a congressman. Yes." And he finds that pretty fascinating. So but yes, Steve Largent is definitely my next pick for wide receiver.
Was going to be my next pick. Good job, George. I like that pick.
And it is on to you, sir.
To me?
Yep.
Oh, crap. Well, you took my next pick, so give me a second here.
Pass, it's fine.
Bring out the clock. Bring out the clock.
No clock.
What are you in a hurry for?
I got
I
places
got a
to
TV
be.
show I can watch. I want to watch The Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire tonight, all right?
Let's go.
See them win more money than they already have.
Oh man.
What happened to my list?
I just
Oh,
need
no.
to have a TV show that's dumber than the 5th grader so I can win.
What did this list do to me? All
You
right.
lost it.
Yeah, I lost my list. So I'll just have to shoot from the hip.
You can't really see it, Ryan. It's more just like a big bright main light bulb above you.
All right, there you go.
Can't see the detail no more.
Nah.
It worked for about half an hour. It was perfect.
Yeah, it looked nice. It's the only thing in Cleveland that works over there.
I'm going to go with Mr. Terrell Owens. He had some rough years towards the end, but man, he had some outstanding highlights. I don't have his stats pulled up right now because my computer took a shit on me. So I can't really talk poetically on him, but
You want his numbers? His numbers are almost identical to Randy Moss.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
He's got 153 touchdowns.
Thank you.
And $153 in his name.
Okay, that's fine.
That's why he's playing soccer. Oh no, yeah, that's why he's playing soccer.
Are you talking about Terrell Owens or Chad Ochocinco?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, Ocho Cinco. I'm sorry.
Ocho Cinco's playing soccer.
Hey, they're both nutcases, so it's
And
like
at least Ocho has a job. Terrell's driving around in a Geo Metro.
Well, that's fine. His career is good, and he's on my team.
Zolt, you are up next, sir.
All right. Now, since T.O. just got snaked out from under me.
Shoot from the hip too. God, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Nice job.
Let me go with a guy with 12,000 yards, 57 touchdowns, still playing, only 126 games so far in his career. Julio Jones.
Nice.
Julio. Mike, you'll know that one.
Sudsy.
Sticking with my drug abuser theme,
Jesus.
I'm going with Michael Irving.
Oh.
How
Only
many,
the second year.
That's who I thought. That's who I thought he was taking when he said Chris Carter. I actually had Michael Irvin written down, and then I crossed it out to write down Chris Carter.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what it was too.
I still have another drug abuser later on, so I'm waiting for the third overall pick.
Oh,
So-
jeez. Oh man.
By the way, Michael Irving, joke aside, had almost 12,000 yards in receptions all by himself. Obviously, with multiple Super Bowl wins and 65 touchdowns.
Yep.
So
His receiving percentage was great.
all he did was catch the ball
Yep.
and never dropped a damn thing. He had one season where he had 111 receptions all by itself in one season. 1,600 yards in reception. That says a lot all by itself. So 65 career touchdowns, multiple Super Bowls. So he kind of takes the cake. Plus one hell of a cocaine habit.
Akers, you're up.
Oh,
I'll
man.
tell you what, the NBA hockey one's going to be fun.
Talking, my entire team's gonna be made up of drug heads.
It's something else, I swear.
Hey, Wayne got a good one. He said Suds has the all high team.
Nice.
That's what I'm going for. I was going for the criminal team, but O.J. Simpson was already taken.
Akers, come on, man.
Hey, I only picked them because, like I said, when you don't get caught, that's the only way you're going to be able to score touchdowns. He just ran out of gas.
They couldn't catch him on the field or in the courtroom.
Oh man, the list on these guys. I mean, like you said, I really like watching this guy, especially as young as he is right now. And I'm gonna go with a guy that's playing right now. And though his quarterback with him is an HOF right now, he's really great. He's only had 63 games. He's only got 5,500 yards with 32 touchdowns. I'm gonna go with Michael Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Gotta get that receiving corp a little younger, so Tom Brady needs a little more ability to throw to.
Hey George, how come you got 2 first picks in the last 2 rounds? I think you cheated.
No.
Remember George picked or Bryce picked him.
Yeah, he picked Jerry Rice the first pick,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
and then
true.
Durkin,
and then he picked Steve Largent. So it should have been
dude.
Try and Stop Me's first pick. I think you screwed us over.
I'll still take Owens over Largent. It's all good.
Okay.
Wayland says Suds has the high team.
Yeah,
Oh,
Here's the all high team. Yeah.
The all high team.
Wayland.
I think I'm up next.
Yes,
Sure.
you are.
I don't know. I got 2 guys in mind right here. I think they actually both have the same initials. One I absolutely hated being a Lions fan, but I'm not gonna pick him. The other guy I think kind of revolutionized that shorter, super fast, not willing to or not afraid to go across the middle, but guy just played forever and was one of my favorite fantasy wide receivers of all time too. Is Steve Smith. I was just an absolute machine from a fantasy perspective and for a very long time, and great slot receiver if needed. I think he really paved the way for some of those New England favorites of mine, Wes Welker and Edelman. So I take Steve Smith.
All righty.
He played for like 15 years?
Played for a ton.
Yeah.
219 games.
Yeah.
Because his Panthers first.
Yeah.
Yep. 16 seasons in the NFL.
Mr. Burrich.
All right, for my second straight last pick in the draft. Oh, this is a tough one because you can go back and forth with a whole bunch of guys.
Yep.
But I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Isaac Bruce. He had over 1,000 yards, 1,000 receptions in his career, 15,000 yards, 91 touchdowns. Best year he had was 1781 and 13 touchdowns. 12 seasons with 50 receptions or more. I mean, I know he had Marshall Falk. I know he had Torrey Holt with him, but I'm going to go with Isaac Bruce.
All righty. Durkin, Sensei, Fubard, go ahead.
All right. Well, this, actually, I'm gonna make this one for Waylon, because I know Waylon's listening. He's gonna love this pick.
He is.
I'm gonna go with the Antonio Brown because of what he did in the past, not because of what might happen to next year or last year. But
There goes my all high team.
yes,
No,
you're welcome,
crazy.
Suds. This man was a stud every time he stepped foot on a football field. And as a matter of fact, when they let him step foot on a football field last year, he had a pretty damn good game. But, he'll clean his shit up. He'll be back.
Maybe.
He would be, this is going on some future love here. But, Central Michigan, go Chips.
Attica.
Hey. I know you're just mad because I took him from you, Suds.
Yeah, I was going for the all high team.
Waylon says, who's going to cover Andrew's receivers? They're big, strong, fast, tall, and physical.
Nobody.
Also, great third receiver, he just said.
Well, I
With
mean,
his last would be the LA Police Department.
Torrey Brown, right?
Yeah.
Waylon's got a lot of time to chat for a guy that couldn't make this draft.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hi, Waylon.
Hi.
Who was your pick? I was away real quick.
Antonio Brown.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
Mr. Dave,
All right.
you're up next, sir.
I am going completely off board since just about most of my guys have all been recent history. This is way back, 30s and 40s from Green
Yes.
Bay. 11 seasons with Green Bay. The stat that just absolutely kills me. 1942, 17 touchdowns in 11 games.
Woo!
He finished with 99 touchdowns in 116 games played. Don Hudson.
Yeah.
I was
And-
actually thinking about Don Hudson, but I didn't have the stats pulled up, so I didn't want to look like a douche.
17 touchdowns back in 1942 for a receiver
Yeah.
was for most guys.
And especially because football was primarily more of a running game.
Yeah, that's an amazing stat line.
That
3
is
yards in a cloud of dust.
big time. Mr. Sudbury, any criminals left? I mean, people left that you want
Hey,
to.
Josh Gordon is still available.
Well,
No, you didn't even have to say that. I was going to go ahead and pick him, but now that you said it, I have to go somewhere else. He was going to be the one. I wasn't actually going to pick him, but I was going to bring him up. But
poor Chris is the guy who when we actually were doing a draft one night in my
don't make me
apartment-
throw something at the computer screen.
Oh yeah, I have to share this. Chris, we're watching the Cleveland Browns play against the Packers, and it was the 4th round, and Suds, being the Mr. Smartass that he is, goes, "Oh, I'm going to take Tim Couch." What happened 2 plays later? Out for the season. And he threw stuff at the wall.
He wasn't even my starting quarterback, but the fact that I was watching it and he got hurt at the same time kind of pissed me off. And that season, I also lost my wide receiver, a running back, and my tight end, all before the season started.
Both tight ends.
Yeah, before the season started. One got cut. It wasn't a good year. So, I am going to go. Now, this gentleman had over 13,000 yards in receiving, had over 87 touchdowns in his career. But 4 Super Bowl appearances, in a row, and that'd be Andre Reed.
You took that one right out of my.
The Buffalo Bills lost 4 in a row, and he was on the team. So.
Yep. Everybody thinks about James Lofton, but they always kind of forget about Andre Reed.
And he was the number 1 wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills at that time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Akers, you are up, sir.
Oh, man.
It's tough, right? The list gets dwindly.
And it does get dwindly, and I'm like, I see what's left, and I don't know how much longer I could ride this train.
Well,
I hope he returns. I hope he returns because I'd really like to see him play again. Even though he's kind of cut short and been stupid. His percentage rate's pretty good. It's all right. It's about 60%. It's 58%. 73 touchdowns in 113 games. If he comes back with the Saints, it'll be great. Des Bryant.
Ooh.
I've been having him almost every year. It was great, and until he decided to be dumb and
What, blows Achilles out?
yeah,
Decided to be dumb.
What a dumbass.
tried to be dumb.
Achilles snapped.
Not to be
Moron.
not to be stretching during practice or doing whatever he does. Once again, he's almost like a Randy Moss. He's got that big giant high ego. You can't do nothing to stop me. Oh man, there's a lot of people in here. I just always like Des.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
Balls too.
Gotta give a shout out to Lynn Swan though.
Yeah.
Again, someone who is definitely underrated. He didn't have very many yards, but he sure had enough to win 4 Super Bowls as well.
Shrods,
Oh,
you are up.
Hines Ward, smiling Hines. No matter how hard he got hit, he was always smiling, even if he got knocked out. I don't know if that was because plastic surgery, but.
All right, Andrew Schroeder.
So,
You're up, sir.
I waited, and I'm able to get the other guy who has the same initials as I just took. There's only 3 players in the Super Bowl era that have outright won the Triple Crown at the receiving position. One was Jerry Rice, one was Steve Smith, who I took last round, and the other guy is Sterling Sharp from the Green Bay Packers.
Fucking hate that guy.
I hate him. I remember him as just being an absolute Lions killer. Never forget some of the receptions he had. But the guy was an absolute beast. And, I think from a receiving perspective, he definitely the years he played for Green Bay, he was a monster. So
yeah, that's why I hate him.
You must remember.
The one thing I always remember about him, he had that damn strap up, buttoned up to his damn helmet from his shoulder pads or something like that.
You know what?
I remember one reception.
Shut up. You shut your mouth.
that's the one I'm talking about.
Brian, you are up, sir.
Holy Christ. So you can pick from a whole bunch of guys too here. And there's just one guy that just opens my eyes sometimes when I see this. And this guy, 10,300 yards receiving, 85 touchdowns, 7 straight 1,000 yards or more, 5 times 10 touchdowns or more. I'm going to go with Lance Allworth.
No argument there.
Guy always gets lost in the shuffle. His best
Yeah.
year. Now, back in the 70s, it was still close to where everybody ran the ball. It was still coming out to where you were passing, but not as much. But his best year was 1,600 yards and 14 touchdowns.
Hell of a year.
You can't beat that.
No.
No way.
Not in the 70s.
No. No.
Yeah.
That's when they still could hold you at the line.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, they can
Wouldn't
practically
they?
tackle it.
The Raiders used to tear their heads off.
Yeah.
Now the one stat I saw about him, I don't know if this is true or not because I don't think it is, but the one thing I saw was he was the first AFL player to be to make the Hall of Fame. I don't think that's true, but I saw that. That was on his Hall of Fame profile. But they said he was the first AFL player to make the Hall of Fame.
First player from the American Football League inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's an accurate stat.
Yeah, that shocked me big time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Born in 1940. Wait, sorry, I just Googled him, so I've got a whole bunch of Wikipedia. But yeah, what you said is true. He's the first player from the AFL, which is remarkable to be inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's
And the
best stat of the night, I think.
the screwed up part is if you look, he had 85 touchdowns and 542 receptions. So it means almost 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 receptions were touchdowns for him, wasn't it? Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm no math whiz, unlike Mike Akers.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody told me there'd be math.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
We're not
85
gonna do that.
touchdowns, 542 receptions. Hold on. Because I'm at my work desk, I've got a calculator right here.
Oh,
Yep, every 6.37 receptions was a touchdown for Mr. Allworth.
That's a hell of a stat right there.
Yeah, I'd agree.
well, for the last pick, I've also gone a little old school. And my guy, you don't think a whole lot of them, but when you think of the Redskins back in the day, this guy's name pops up. And to have one of the early players on to have over 100 receptions back in 84 and 85, you know, yeah, Mr. Art Monk, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. He never had double-digit years for TDs or nothing, but he was Mr. Consistency, and there's no argument on that aspect.
183 straight games with a reception.
Yep. It's quite damn impressive. Quite damn impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
Zolt, you are kicking us off on the tight ends.
Ow!
All right, 15,000 yards, 111 touchdowns. Tony Gonzalez. I mean, there it is.
I'm not arguing.
Nope.
No.
Well, no, you can't argue with that pick. I mean,
No.
Tony Gonzalez, pretty much
Defined
like
the
the infancy
position.
of my fantasy
He was
football
going
life.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Like Tony Gonzalez was like the man. Like, okay, I'm going to take Tony Gonzalez.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm saying.
mean-
Like you get the first pick in the round, and you're looking at a stat like that, and it's like saying quarterbacks or anything like that, receivers. These guys are
Oh.
number one for a reason. I mean, they have to be taken as number one. I mean, there's nobody in that category that can say that they're better than Tony Gonzalez. And I mean, if you say you're better than Tony Gonzalez, tell
You're a
me
liar.
Yeah.
Tell me who he is. Because that
exactly.
guy was a tremendous beast.
By the way, Tony Gonzalez also not on the because he retired in 2008. I apologize.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's my bad. It just doesn't. 2008 doesn't seem like that long ago to me, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Seems like
Hey, just
yesterday.
now, that was the last time I was laid off. So that's all right.
Yeah, that's the last time I was laid too. Obviously.
Oh.
Oh, laid
How
off.
old's your kid?
Oh.
Yeah. Obviously a lie. She's 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, we had to have one of those speak
Yeah.
come from somebody not snubbed.
Apparently per round.
Sudbury.
Oh, man. I so wanted to take Kevin Winslow Jr. because,
Right.
you know,
Get off the
those two cats.
Oh,
To
Sorry.
keep up with my pattern of drug
Oh my
abusers,
God.
but
Take his
Well,
dad.
yeah, I do
oh,
got Gronk. I got Gronk. I'll take him.
oh.
Hey, if you watch his videos, he's on something.
Which one, senior?
WWE, he's definitely on something. So I'm going to go ahead and take Gronk. And I don't think I need to
No, you don't
even
need
say
to.
anything about what his stats.
No.
He's
No.
the only person that even comes close was Tony Gonzalez. He's clearly the second best tight end in NFL history, without a doubt. So I'm going to go ahead with Gronk. That breaks George's heart, but
No, it's fine.
you take him for sure. But I'm going to take Gronk.
It's fine. Acres.
Oh, of course, I get Gronk stolen from me after this pick. Oh man, looking at the list and what tight ends were there. I mean, anybody can write down as much tight ends as you got. It's basically based on I went based on by yardage wise and receptions. And since Ozzie Newsome, I can't find Ozzie Newsome's target rates going on there with his stats. I went with Shannon Sharp. I like Shannon Sharp. I had of course Gonzalez number 1, Gronk number 2, and I got Sharp for number 3. Like Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp's also another guy who's won 2 Super Bowl rings from 2 different teams. He's a guy who's pretty solid to be up in there. I'd like to put him on there, right above Winslow Sr.
Okay.
Right, I'm sorry. Who do you pick?
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
Strides, you're on next.
That was basically literally my top 3 as well. I had Grant Gonzalez, Sharp. You took him, but my number 4, no matter however I slice and dice, it was Antonio Gates. I mean, you look at the same time period, and Gonzalez and Gates just kind of going back and forth against each other. And I think from a longevity perspective, as well as from purely a fantasy perspective too, Gates is still going. I mean, the guy's through 2018 was an absolute beast. So he's pick number 4.
Can't laugh at 116 touchdowns.
Absolutely not.
I just want to throw this out there too. I was absolutely shocked that Fred Biletnikoff did not go in the wide receiver draft.
I had him on the list. But it was. If you look at his stats, they weren't as good as like some of those guys that we were talking about. From a fantasy standpoint. I mean, yeah, I know he's got an award after him, and he was a hell of a player. But just going by pure fantasy stats, you couldn't pick him. Trust me, I had him. I was thinking about him.
Well,
I think he's the last receiver to wear number 25.
Probably. Ryan, you are on next.
I'm coming back.
2 guys I think you can't go wrong with. Either one you can pick, but this guy I'm going to go 662 catches, almost 8,000, 20 yards away from 8,000 yards, 47 touchdowns. I got to go Ozzie Newsome.
How did he was picked?
Receiver in college, turned him into a tight end in Cleveland and just flourished.
Yeah, I thought he was already picked.
No, he was discussed. He didn't get
No,
picked.
he was
discussed.
He was
Discussed, not
discussed,
picked.
but not taken.
And he's one of the few guys that didn't care going over the middle. You're going to hit him. You're going to hit him. And a lot of times, guys bounced off of him.
You've been video bombed.
There's another one.
There's another one. Oh, yeah. We knew that was I knew that was gonna happen there. So
Homer.
Well,
Jimmy Graham.
no.
Yeah, he was thinking about it.
See.
Actually, I'm going old school. This is gonna shock, but 1961, over 1,000 yards in his rookie year 812 touchdowns.
Damn.
Ooh, I know.
80s
Ditka.
fullback.
Ditka.
Decca.
Mr. Ditka.
He doesn't count as one of your head coach. He doesn't count as being a head coach, though.
No, he does
You-
not.
Can't
be a player and head coach.
Decca.
No,
I was going to use him. I was going to cheat.
Yeah, we have another Sudbury rule.
Keeping that roster short and low on salary, huh?
So, Mr. Durkin, you are up next, sir.
Yes, I am. All right. You know what? Screw it. Because I'm from Detroit. We are going to go with Mr. Charlie Sanders. You know what? You can laugh, but he went to 7 Pro Bowls, first team All-Pro. He is also a Pro Football Hall of Famer. You know, the numbers aren't there, but he didn't play in that era.
Yeah.
One of the best players to ever,
Called
play
getting
for
a
my
mer-
Lions.
It's called
So-
getting a mercy fuck.
You do need to remember this is on Facebook Live. I
Yeah,
just
that's
thought I'd bring that up, an hour and a half later.
That might have been a good thing to tell me earlier.
What,
Maybe
we can't
it's
fucking swear on fucking Facebook Live? Oh, fuck me. Shit. Didn't know that.
Asshole.
Christ.
Damn.
All right.
See you next Tuesday, motherfuckers.
Suds, you're up first for round 2 of the tight ends.
Even though it's Wednesday.
Eh. Who's counting anymore?
That's true.
I haven't shaved in
Oh.
4 weeks.
Hey, it's
It's only this long.
I'm shocked. I can't believe. I'm a little surprised that Kelsey's still there.
Oh, because he wasn't on my list. He was too old. Shit.
Because that dude he's already, what's he got? Let's see, 3. He's put what, 6 years in, and he's got over 6,000 yards and receptions,
Yeah, he was on
and
there.
he's got 37, 6 seasons, 37 touchdowns. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Kelsey.
He's fine. I got her.
All right. Akers.
Am I starting off the new roster? We're taking 2 tight ends.
No, it's 2 tight ends.
Oh, you screwed me on the kickers.
Oh,
You said 1 tight end.
we're
I
2
swear
tight
you said 1 tight end too, though.
There was
Yeah.
some debate I saw. I, haven't been as active, but I thought it settled on 2 tight ends.
When we talked, we said 1 tight end.
No.
That's
Who really needs 2 tight ends?
I mean, not
Stop,
me.
Brian.
I mean, if we go 2 tight ends, Eric Ebron's about to get drafted.
Good Lord.
Man, well, that just kind of screwed me on the intro on the kickers.
Well, who are you gonna pick?
You'll be just fine.
Oh man,
You'll
Well,
be
you'll still
fine.
be going first with the kickers because you're second in the tight ends, I think. We're already in the second round of tight ends.
Don't you
oh,
worry
we're in
about
the
it.
second round already. All
Yeah,
right.
we're in the second round of the tight ends.
Yeah, you're number 2 in the second round.
Oh, okay. I counted wrong, man. All right, George, you're lucky. Actually, you're sitting here talking about tight ends and your Pro Bowl stats and oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times he was selected in the Pro Bowl.
Just.
2 times selected first time all team. 72 touchdowns,
Yep.
12,977 yards.
Only.
And is now a a Las Vegas Raider. Right?
Jason Witten.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between him and Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like,
Yeah.
It was like I said, the list there, and then that's why I was joking with Ozzie Newsome there, but I couldn't get a target. I mean, I searched like 4 sites. Apparently, back in the 70s and higher, they didn't do target rating.
No.
No.
All
No.
video footage there. Why can't somebody go back and watch them?
Yeah, I know, right?
Brought the reels.
Jason Witten was sure-handed. You can throw anything to him, and he was going to catch it.
He has the highest receiving percentage, 71%. I mean, for 1,700 targeting time, you know, he was pretty there. He was up there. And like I said, when he didn't play 2018, he was trying to retire. He got asked to come back in 2019. And like I said, once again, he was only a player that played with one team. I can't count the Raiders yet because he hasn't played for the Raiders yet. So, I mean.
And look, he leaves ESPN and the commentary goes to hell after that.
Shrods.
They're calling Joe Buck.
I know he's been brought up a few times, but I mean, Kellen Winslow Sr., three-time first-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. He only played in 109 games, but he had 45 touchdowns. I mean, as a tight end, when you're scoring a touchdown almost every other game,
Yep.
Still put up 6,700 yards too. So, and really played in an era where the tight end position I don't think really was valued that much. So, guy was pretty much a beast back in the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's one of the actual big tight ends too back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Burrich, it's on you.
I'm going kind of old school. I mean, only 20, 30 years back. But if you look, this guy was almost like Jason Witten, sure-handed. If you needed someone to catch something right away, or you needed 5 yards for first down, or you're in the end, close to in the red zone, you need a 6-yard touchdown, you threw it to this guy. I don't think he gets as much credit as people think, or as people give him, because he had so many other people around him. But I'm going to go with Jay Novacek.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, of course, you had Aikman, you had Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Harper. But he did a lot of the grunt. He had 4,600 yards, 30 touchdowns, 422 catches in his career. But he doesn't get as much pub as the other guys because he was just went out there, kind of like Winton. He just went out there and just did what he had to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's just like one of those, it's like Art Monk. It's a consistent, reliable guy. You needed that 3rd and 2, 3rd and 5, you could hit them and boom, you're setting up for a first down and you're going again.
5-time Pro Bowler.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. After Witten and Winslow, was this still Winslow or is there somebody else?
Jason Witten, Kellen Winslow, Jay Novacek just got.
Novacek. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Kellen Winslow was also one of mine as well, but my 4th guy down, Berman turned around and I still love Ben Wintercoats. that is still the smoothest name ever. And another guy, just consistent enough to get you the numbers that you needed. And, was an excellent backup. And heck, for being a second tight end on the team, it's good for a bye week coverage, Mr. Durkin, up to you, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with kind of a newer pick here. Let's see. We're going to go with Greg Olson. Kind of newer.
I agree.
He's been in the league since 2007, so that's a hell of a long time. As of the time of this publication, he's the only tight end in NFL history with 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. So he had a strand there where he put it together. I mean, he's just a guy. He was, durable, but he's had injuries lately. But I'm not going to hold that against him. He's just,
still
he's
consistent.
Tight end.
Another
Just to argue with you a little bit, Kelsey has 4 1,000-yard seasons in a row.
Well, yeah, and that's why I said it's the
17,
time of this
16.
publication. I'm looking. I think it's from 2019, or 2018, so they didn't have this season counted or whatever.
Right.
I think the reason why he doesn't get – I think he's better than Gronk only because – the only reason why I think Gronk is better, well, he gets more pub is because he had 4 or 5 whatever Super Bowls. If Olsen had 1 or 2 Super Bowl wins, I think he would be better than Gronk.
if Olsen had a quarterback.
True.
True.
And yeah, with
He's
well, I mean,
he's
he
working
had
with
Cam.
nothing.
Yeah.
He had Cam for a minute there, but
Yeah, the guy can't hit a broadside of a barn.
I think Olsen is a diamond in the rough. I think he was just better than everybody thought he was.
Who's on next? Zolt, you're up.
All right. 7,800 yards, 74 touchdowns in 153 games. I will take that any day of the week for a second tight end. Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy. And where is he? I was gonna say, isn't he headed off to a new?
did he go to
land?
Chicago?
Wasn't he? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, Chicago.
To the
Was it
Bears?
Chicago?
Yep.
Yeah.
Another one. I'm shocked no one picked Vernon Davis.
I'd been a good
It was.
pick, too.
It was on
He's
my
on the list. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the list.
I want to do a shout out to Mark Bavaro, who had the best Super Bowl
That's
comment
it,
of all
yeah.
time when he came off the field and after a holding call. And
Yeah.
Bill Parcells looked at him and he says, "Why the hell did you hold on that play?" He looked at Bill Parcells and said, "What are you talking about? I hold on every play."
I growing up in the in the 80s, I always liked Mark Bavaro as a tight end. I think he was just a big burly guy who would just beat the shit out of you if he had to.
Yeah, he said that, and they had it live, or they had it right on video. That he said that was the best. I think that's one of the best lines in the NFL history in the Super Bowl. I hold on every play. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. All right, Mr. Akers, you are first with the kickers.
Okay, congratulations. I
Yeah,
wasn't
good-
thinking.
Yeah, you wanted it. You
Pressure's
got
on.
it. You're there. So come on.
Oh man, no, this guy has no relations to me.
Wonder who it's gonna be.
uh,
So curveballing you on the mound. This
Basically.
guy is still kicking today, and I get him every year. I think he's the best kicker, still today's best kicker. His longest field goal is 61. He's 298 for 301 on PATs. He's kicked for 128 games. He sucked last year, which really hurt me so bad in fantasy wise. Justin Tucker.
Huh.
You guys thought I was going to say David Akers.
Absolutely.
I thought more than Anderson, but
yeah, I was gonna say,
You
yeah.
forget Morton.
Gary,
Well,
Gary
I've got five kickers here, and
you can only pick one.
yeah, only pick one. And I mean, two of them are on the same team, except one was a transfer over. But you can never go wrong with Tucker. Tucker was like, it's payday
No.
all over. I mean,
Justin Tucker,
Yeah.
He
I'm
was your
always going to look at him
50-yard
right now as
kicker.
one of the best kickers in NFL history.
The only way you could stop the Ravens from scoring was you had to keep it past 55 yards. I mean, this
Yep.
guy was almost like
I-
money. 30
I
miles.
think I remember him playing against the Lions where they beat the Lions strictly in field goals.
21.
Like
21
21 to
what you're thinking of
21
is
to
the game
6
where
or 7 or something like that.
no,
7 field goals. He was 7.
you're thinking
for
of the game when
7.
that motherfucker kicked a 61-yarder. His time expired to beat us. That was
That's
sweet.
correct.
There was a game though, wasn't there, where they only kicked field goals and beat the Lions by like 21 points?
I mean, if there's a
Off of
weird
field goals?
game, then it probably involved the Lions. So I'm sure that's true.
It was funny. They were joking around that the 61-yarder was not kicked in Denver Stadium. Unlike Elam, who's kicked 63.
64.
65.
Oh, wait, Elam?
He tied the record. Yeah.
You're
that's what he
thinking,
did,
you're
yeah.
thinking Prater.
In Denver,
Yeah, I was thinking
Prater.
Matty Pratt.
You're thinking Prater.
Yeah,
No,
Matty.
it was Elam.
Tied the
It
record.
was Elam too.
Oh, did he do it as
Elam
well?
was for yeah.
Yeah, Elam had a 63.
Elam with his 325-pound weight behind him. But yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a kicker. I mean, there is a list of kickers around there, but I mean, he's got a hell of a kicker. He's still going to be a hell of a kicker. With what he's working with right now, it's going to basically kill his field goaling percentages, but he's going to be putting up them PATs.
He'll be fine. He's a future Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah.
Shruz, you're next.
So
sir.
You definitely threw a curveball because I was expecting one of two kickers to go. Position that's near and dear to my heart, having kicked myself. And this is such a difficult one. I mean, coming from Detroit, like you got probably two of the greatest kickers of all time, Hansen and Prater. I mean, Prater holds the record for 64 yards, longest kick ever. Hansen was probably one of the most consistent kickers, especially over 50 yards in NFL history. But the curveball was the two. Neither of them were two of the guys I was thinking about. I got to go with the all-time leading scorer in NFL history here, and that's Vinatieri.
Yep.
I was just clutch. Kicked him once, multiple Super Bowls. One of the only kickers to ever do that. Leads the league in points, and I mean the guy was just a monster. Played forever. So I got to go with Vinatieri.
Why? Don't give him Corona. Don't give him a computer virus.
We heard that. We heard
What?
that.
What's that?
We heard that.
Oh, the
Yeah.
computer
You know-
virus joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because you do this.
Just because you take your headset
I
off?
put my hand over the mic.
No,
You gotta
not
hold
good
it.
enough.
Settle down, Congress.
Uh,
You gotta turn it up.
Oh well.
Burridge, you're up next.
Well,
Go ahead and say it. Former Browns member.
I know you can't. You can't help. I can't help it. Guy kicked for what 20 goddamn years. He has 97% PAT, 1,608 points, career points in 268 games. My dog is named after him. I'm going with Lou the Toe Groza.
There you go.
He's in the top 5. That's what I was saying. Go ahead and throw him in there.
He was that or Al Del Greco.
Well, that makes him. I thought you were going to go a different way, but I'm a little surprised. But then again, not.
Oh, you've been in my house. You know my dog's name is Groza. What the hell's your problem?
Yep. Hey, I thought you could have went a second direction as well, but
Okay, my one dog's name is Bernie. My next dog's name is Groza, and my cat's name is Otto. What the hell do you want me to?
I hear you. I hear you. I am taking the only kicker to actually win a playoff game on his own and also get the team the win in the Super Bowl. And that, of course, is Matt Stover.
Former Brown.
Former Brown.
But did it with the Ravens.
2001.
Yep.
Yep. Durkin, you are up next.
We lost him.
No, yeah.
Fail.
He's working
Taking care of
with
something.
working with the little one. He's muted.
It's almost over. It's almost over.
No, it's not muted.
Tell me drafting Gary
Oh, that
player.
was he's muted. He muted himself.
Yeah, he muted himself. You can tell.
Hold on.
Can I draft for him?
There's Brittany.
Everybody wave, see if somebody gets somebody's attention on the camera.
Brittany.
Wait, who was picked? Who was picked?
Unmute.
Sorry, you had two choices: a mute for a second or a screaming 2-year-old.
Oh, we would have taken.
We were having fun.
Mike,
We listen to George all the time, so we've heard 2-year-old scream.
Mike screams like a 2-year-old all the time, so we're used to it.
In the bowling or out of the bowling alley?
Either one.
Right.
So what I missed? Last one I heard was Groza.
That's it.
No, Matt Stover. I picked.
Okay,
So you're on next.
it's obviously Jason Hansen, the best Lion in Lions history, outside of Matt Stafford. Jason,
All-time leading scorer.
Yeah.
underappreciated. Probably won't make the Hall of Fame because he played on a bunch of dog bleep teams, but Jason Hansen was the best kicker in the NFL for a really long time until Justin Tucker came along and sort of, took his throne. But Jason Hansen all the way because I've got a theme here and it's a Honolulu Blue theme, so we're going with it.
So far, it's only been a
It's a
2
theme.
team.
It's a theme.
Zolt, you're up next.
All right. I'm going with an
Jay Feely.
no.
Oh, God.
Going with a guy who scored a ton of points, probably helped out by the fact that his team scores a boatload of touchdowns. So there's a lot of PATs in there. At the same time, he's also picked 87% field goal, 71% from 50 and beyond. You said it.
Oh, did I
Even
whisper that too
Gusta.
loud?
Yes, you did.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry.
Gostkowski.
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
No word. I had my
He was
I had my
giving you the ball
assistant.
for saying name.
I had my assistant take it up to the mic.
Can't beat that
I mean,
guy. That
It's
guy
only a
is
kicker.
automatic, like, Vin and Terry. The guy can kick anywhere.
Yeah.
He's good for at least, well, in Georgia's league, he's good for at least 200 points a game.
Right.
Almost.
I mean, what kicker scored 1,000 points?
Right.
Well, the big shocker is right now New England has cut him.
Yeah.
So it's
Really?
like,
Ricky.
yeah, they cut him.
You found the $20.
Okay. What? What was that? No, they cut. Yeah, Gostkowski's been cut. So it's
Gostkowski's-
very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
that-
You know how the Patriots, you
Yeah, but I think like it's like a cut, but plan to bring him back. It was like a roster spot thing or
Overly
a salary
cut.
cap.
Well,
they
however
were
you
going
want to
to
look at it, but
4 or 5 kickers last year. He was injured. Basically, they tried to bring him back, kept getting injured, and I think it was more of a health issue than it was a performance issue. But he went forever without missing an extra point, and then he missed like 3 or 4 in like a 2-week period.
Oh, so that's why Belichick put the bolt in his head.
Yeah, basically.
How old is
Well,
he?
he does know when to get rid of people. So
How old is he?
It doesn't say here.
Yeah.
He's been in the league since 2006 with New England at least. So old.
36.
Okay. That's not old, by the way.
No, it's not.
Change your tone suddenly there, huh?
That's my wife. I'm 38.
I'll be there in July.
right.
no comment. Hey George, we'll keep our mouth shut.
No.
In a word.
No. Suds.
Well, I'd really like to go Prater to stick to my drug theme, but I'm sorry. Why did he get kicked out of Denver? Because he's got a drinking problem.
So do I.
look at his face.
Got a drinking problem. It's got, but I have to go with Morton Anderson, who's probably kicked more field goals than anybody in the history of the NFL since he played for longer than anybody in the history of the NFL. He played from 82 to 2007. Most of you weren't born that long.
I was born in 82, so I'm good.
I was born in 81.
I think everybody here was actually born in 82.
Okay, I hate to interrupt this before we get on any further here, but breaking news. Cam Newton has agreed to a 1-year, $5 million deal with the New England Patriots per Adam
Told
Schefter.
you.
Check that fucking blue check mark. I don't believe that for a second. Check the blue check mark.
It is validated.
1 year, $5 million.
1 year, $5 million with the Patriots.
I told you. I said his best bet would be go to New England. He ain't got
No.
nobody.
That better be that. No, that can't be a verified account. Come on now, $5 million.
Yep.
But
You
he's
telling
probably-
me we've got a backup tight end on the Lions that costs less than Cam fucking Newton?
He's probably got like $5 million in incentives too.
I was gonna say that this has just been broke across here, so I just wanted to break that news in. There's a hot one. All right, so who's picking Cam Newton in the fantasy this year as their wonderful starting quarterback for the
Not
New
me.
England Patriots?
I'll do it.
If there's football,
I'd take him.
If there's
That
football.
cheating son of a bitch in New England, he'll get that dude to win.
He'll come up short too, like the Titans did.
Wow.
Bill Parcells will cheat like nobody's business, and that dude will win in New England.
Does that mean I get to lead off the coaching thing?
We're skipping you.
Pretty sure Schroeder gets the lead off coaching, and
Yes. Yes,
and
sir, you do. Yes, sir,
you guys had the perfect segue to introduce me to the greatest coach of all time. Don't even have
George.
enough to count the amount of
Cross them off
Super
the
Bowls.
All right. Adam Schefter has not tweeted about Cam Newton at all. He hasn't even actually tweeted in the last 3 hours. Are you sure you didn't get duped?
Hang on, because
Some fake news?
Pulled it from my buddy Mike, who is
the
the guy who works for
Oh,
the
you heard it from Mike. Heard it from Mike, folks.
Mike has it. The rest of the internet doesn't, but Mike's got it.
Mike's in his
Facebook, it's
Mike knows a guy who lives in Boston who knows a guy that is from Foxborough.
Paperboy.
Hang on.
Let me guess. Dan Leach said Cam Newton's limousine came into Foxborough today.
He went for a shoulder massage, but he got a happy ending at least.
Yeah, Shefty has not tweeted in 3 hours. And you better believe you have to be tweeting that. They have $5 million a year. Holy moly!
All right, Andrew, who you got?
What? I'm up. Oh,
No.
sorry. There's two of us. Apologies.
Yeah, I mean, this one's a no-brainer. I think it's got to be Bill Belichick. You just look at just winning. Like, I mean, numbers speak for themselves between Super Bowls. I mean, as a head coach and as an assistant, when you win your conference more times, in a row than the Lions have not won a single conference championship. It's just insane. I mean, the guy just knows how to win. Doesn't matter what kind of team he puts together. I mean, just amazing. So,
Hey, but where are you going to start?
it's a good question. Was it Cleveland or Detroit? Because I know he coached for
I
both.
thought it was
Cleveland.
Detroit.
It was actually, yeah, you're right. It was Detroit.
Yeah, I think he was like a
Started in
defensive
Detroit.
assistant or something in Detroit in the 70s. So you're welcome.
Yeah, I knew he coached for both. I just didn't know which one he started with. But I mean, obviously, he's probably the most intelligent coach because he got out of both of those organizations. So
Well, the Browns he got out because they moved to
Well, because they had to move.
True,
Yeah,
true.
no choice.
Bill sounds like a good plan.
Mike did a oops. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Oops. Look at the picture, genius. Underneath the Sports Center, it's a fake Sports Center account, you bonehead.
I asked you for a blue check mark, bro.
Hey, I'm like digging right now. I feel like I've got a shovel
Yeah,
off.
I
I'm calling
know.
back a lot looking for this
That's
thing.
what I was doing too. I'm like, you idiot. I had to look back at the picture. I'm going, no. Wrong.
Okay, George, you can edit it out in post. It's all good.
Yeah.
Lies.
Damn.
Lies and
lie.
propaganda.
I thought it said Facebook Live up here, so there's no post.
Yeah. Burrich, you are up for a coach, sir.
Well, I hate when everybody talks about the Belichick coaching tree or the Holmgren coaching tree or all this other coaching trees. If you look at this guy's first 5 head coaches that came out of his coaching tree, Don Shula, Blanton Collier, Webb Eubank, Bill Walsh, Chuck Knoll. Together, they have 10 Super Bowl wins, and they all played or coached for this guy. And Bill Belichick, if you go down the line and everything, is under this family of coaching tree. Paul Brown, the
Hey,
innovator
hey.
of a lot of the stuff that goes on in the NFL. Paul Brown.
Why is head coach the one position you researched for this draft?
I don't have to.
Oh, he's a
you had that,
Browns
like,
coach?
nailed.
Is that what he is? 'Cause I'm trying to figure out who he is.
He was the co-founder of the Browns.
Here's the
Oh,
founder of the
okay.
Yeah. If you don't see what he's picking, you just go, oh, it must be a Cleveland player or
Hey,
a
I'll
Cleveland
pick-
coach.
I only picked
I mean,
2.
you look like what you're saying. Majority of the coaches are from Cleveland that you guys are picking.
Because they all get fired.
No.
Well, Belichick
They all
didn't
get fired. They all get fired and move on.
I mean,
That's why you can always pick. He was from Cleveland. Bet your ass because they all went there one time.
Well, everybody says the Bill Walsh coaching tree. Yeah, Mike Holmgren, John Gruden, all these other guys. Well, who did Bill Walsh coach under? Paul Brown.
Paul Brown. Yep. Which brings me to Bill Walsh, because that's who my head coach is, of course.
Which is not a bad choice.
No, it isn't.
I'm not saying
and especially the fact of the matter is, though, too, is you coach one team 79 to 88, you get 3 Super Bowls out of it, and your coaching tree doesn't expand just one generation, but through 3, and 38 different coaches spawn off from Bill Walsh's tree. That's pretty impressive right there.
Paul Brown, 5 generations.
Yeah, Paul, I was going to say, and growing. And growing.
Yeah.
And growing.
Yep. 6. Sorry. 6.
Yeah, I was just going to say, wouldn't he'll almost be double than Walsh? Yeah.
But you
Mr.
can't
Durkin.
go with Walsh. Walsh is the same way as Paul Brown. He started the innovation of the
West
Coast offense, and started, the more passing offenses in the 80s, and then all of a sudden, what's everybody saying? Oh, this is the West Coast offense. Who coined the West Coast offense? Bill Walsh. Who, of course, worked under Paul Brown.
Durkin, or Suds, what do you want to say?
No, we were getting video bombed on the right, so I was waving at him. He was waving over, so I waved back.
All right, Durkin, you're up.
Well, you guys want to talk about trophies and all these things. I'm going to pick the guy whose name is on every trophy.
Wayne Fonts.
Exactly. No, Vince Lombardi. Hey, my guy's on every Lombardi trophy there is.
Yeah.
That's the name of it for
I
a
think he's
reason.
overrated.
Yes.
I really do.
You know what? It might be, but he's the most famous coach in history.
I just think, for some reason, I just think he's just, I don't know why. I just think he's just overrated. I can't put it one little.
Oh no, I don't find fault in that.
I just think, yeah, he won 2 Super Bowls. Great coach. I'm not saying he's not a bad coach, but I just think he's just overrated sometimes.
Yeah, but when we're picking a position here without very many meaningful metrics we can sort of judge on, like wins, losses, champion. Yeah. It's not like other positions where when your name is on the trophy that everybody wants to play for, that means something.
Well, it goes back to Mike's point where, you got a guy who's been at a team for like 12 years and then goes somewhere else and plays for 1 or 2 years. He's the same way. He coached for how many years at Green Bay? Then he went to the Giants for
Washington. It was the Redskins.
I thought it was the Giants.
He bombed out bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lombardi also had 3 NFL championships too. So I mean, not just the Super Bowls, but 5 total championships.
Well, he had that too. But and the trophy actually wasn't even named yet until 71. That's when they actually made it the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Which would make sense because I think he passed in 1970. Yeah, he died in 1970, so that would make sense.
70, yeah.
But still, I mean, it's been his name for 50 years.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And they're not changing it.
No.
No.
Bill Belichick ain't getting his name on that trophy.
They're not changing it to George Grosval.
Wait, which Lombardi did you guys think I was talking about? I was talking about Joe Lombardi.
Oh,
shit. Sorry.
The reporter?
He might be by now. I don't know. He's a pretty terrible OC.
Right.
Oh. Zolt, you are on next, sir.
All right. The guy I'm taking was in the league for 33 years. Winning percentage is 67.7. Happened to be head coach for a 14-0-0 team. That'd be Don Shula.
Yeah.
Man.
Question on that winning percentage. You're saying this is the question when I was looking him up, and I liked him too. He's my number 1 guy too. Winning percentage is based off of wins over the amount of games he's played. Now, if you really look at it, he's got 6 ties, which was kind of weird. They have him at 67%, but his actual winning percentage is actually 78%.
Who are we talking about, Shula?
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I
For
thought that was
one
kinda
season,
weird.
though, his winning
382
percentage was
wins over
100%.
That's a good point.
For
Yeah,
one
you're
season,
right.
it was 100%, and
Yeah.
no one else has ever done that.
No, yeah. Through the championship game, but I mean, there has been someone who went 16-0. But and I thought that was one of the weird stats when I was like looking things up. I'm like, how that don't even seem right. So I calculated it out, joking around, and I'm like 78%, 67%. I'm like, I literally tried doing whatever they did to get that 67%. I have no clue. I have no clue how they did it because I like used the ties as half games and everything. I'm like, I still came nowhere near that 67%. I was like, I have no clue how they did that.
I'm now realizing there's people that did a lot more research than me for this.
Well, you said you're Googling right now.
Yeah.
Google quickly.
He's done.
Yeah.
The one thing against Shula I have is he couldn't win the big, like, yeah, he had the one undefeated season, but besides that, like, he couldn't win big games. Like, you think about how many Super Bowls,
They
championship
won 2
games he was
Super Bowls in
and-
a row, didn't they?
Yeah, 2 Super Bowls, 1
Yeah, but he
championship.
couldn't do anything with the Colts though beforehand. You got to
Yeah.
remember where he's.
Bill Belichick couldn't do anything with the Browns either,
Or the Jets.
He had an,
Or
he had
the
an
Lions.
NFL championship.
Or the
with
Jets.
or anybody else.
Or the Jets.
He had
Or
an
the Jets.
NFL championship with the
Or
Colts.
the Bears. Oh
Did he
my.
have it?
Yeah.
He did.
NFL champions, 1968, Baltimore Colts.
Who are we talking about? Before I heard
Don
someone
Shula.
say the name. Yeah, Shula had a championship game.
With the Colts. Yeah.
Yes.
They went 13-1.
I think if you give him,
And that's when the Browns beat him in the NFL title game.
yeah, you give him, I think, 1 or 2 more championships, and I mean, I could see him moving to first in the list. Like, it's just, I think you look at the players he coached. I mean, Marino's like the perfect example. Like, arguably, potentially, if Marino would have won 1 Super Bowl, he would be arguably probably one of the best quarterbacks ever. But you just couldn't, when you can't win with Marino, and like how many times he lost in championship games, like whether it's the Super Bowl, whether it's the AFC championship, like, yeah, I think he was a great coach, no argue there, but like to put him super, super high up on the list, I think is one of the arguments I've always heard against Shula.
If Marino just wore his isotoners, he would have been all right.
He borrowed them from OJ.
Oh.
Yes.
They didn't fit. They didn't fit.
Oh.
They didn't fit.
Suds, I threw that softball up to you, and you just hit it out of the damn park.
It's gone.
If only they fit his hands, he'd have been all right.
Oh my god.
They don't fit, can't quit.
You can say that now too, with all the gloves being worn.
Hey, by the way,
that's true. That's a good
where-
point.
guys, by the way, where Don Shula got his start as a head coach or as a coach, he was the defensive coordinator for my Detroit Lions for 1960 through 62.
Who's still on that bandwagon there?
Can I take the pick
Haven't you
back?
broke it down yet?
Hey, let's talk about that Detroit Lions coaching tree. We got Belichick, we got Shula. Who else we got? Who's next?
Wayne Fonts.
As soon as they got off that tree, they rolled their ass away.
Suds, you're on, by the way, for.
Well,
I was
I would
gonna
like
say,
to-
is there a criminal coach you're looking for?
Yeah. Bill Belichick was in as he stole so many Super Bowls, but they was already taken.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, no, he can pick the dude that was doing blow off the desk down in Miami a couple years ago.
Don Shula? No. Oh.
Yeah.
He was doing blow and talking to the hooker at the same time.
Fine, yeah.
Rick Pitino?
Oh.
yeah, boy. I didn't know. I didn't know about him. Damn that. If you find his name, I'll pick his ass.
He wasn't a head coach. He was the offensive line coach. But still, you can
Oh.
still pick him.
That's brutal.
Well,
So that's who you got.
there was 2. Man, this is tough. There's only been like 3 dynasties really in the NFL, if you really look at it, winning huge amounts. And the one we've already did Parcells, and we did the 49ers. You got to go with the steel curtain of the 70s and Chuck Knowles. I mean,
that's
you
good.
got.
That's a good pick.
I mean, you can't go wrong with the steel curtain. I mean, he's probably the greatest head coach in Steeler history. He's got the I don't know what is he number 2? Is he number 2 in Super Bowl rings as head coaches?
Possibly.
I think
Super Bowl?
No, he would be.
He is number 2.
Is he?
because Belichick's got them all.
Yeah,
But
obviously.
Well, yeah.
Chuck Knowles has 4 with the same team, right?
Let's see. Yeah, 4-time Super Bowl champion.
4 times. I don't think anybody else has got 4.
Now,
74,
well,
75,
Belichick does.
4.
70.
Nobody else besides Belichick obviously has the most, but I think he comes in number 2 with the most Super Bowls with a single team.
Tied with Bill Walsh.
No, Walsh had 3.
Walsh doesn't have
Walsh has 3.
with the same team.
Seifert has the other 2.
Yeah.
Seifert's got the others. Yeah,
Oh,
Walsh.
okay.
Walsh
Montana won the 4th one was Seifert.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Walsh only had 3.
All right.
So I was
Oh.
going to say Tom Landry. Where does Landry sit with his?
And that might be
Landry only has 2.
Yeah, he has 2.
He's only got 2.
so
So yeah, it might be. Yeah, I was to say. So probably Chuck. That's not bad. Yeah, it's
y'all didn't see that coming.
Not to mention he has 3 as a player.
Well, I didn't even know that.
Not Super Bowls, but he's got NFL championships.
championship.
Because he was one of the original rotating guards with the Cleveland Browns.
You were just waiting for that.
I
Yeah.
was.
I saw
You
you were.
stop.
You were.
He
I was
teased
kind
us.
of pissed
Stop
when
beating
Chuck
his
Noll got
ass.
picked.
It all goes back to Paul Brown.
Yeah.
Actually,
know.
it all comes back to Vince Lombardi because he was the original OG.
No.
Bam.
Everybody goes back to him.
Exactly.
He's like he's like God. Adam and Eve. Everybody goes back to him.
Paul
tried
Brown
to
was
put-
before Vince Lombardi.
Yeah, Paul Brown tried to put radio receivers in the coaches or the quarterback's helmet, and 2 things happened. One, it was raining and it shocked the shit out of them, and 2, they were picking up the taxi cab CBs when they were driving by, so they couldn't hear the damn plays being called in.
Sounds like a genius.
Yeah. Hey, at least he tried it back in the 50s. In
Yep.
the 50s, that's when he tried it.
Which is
Ugh.
quite impressive, and they've got it now. So
The Dolphins' assistant coach was Chris Foister.
Yes.
He also said he used cocaine 8 to 9 days before that video even
Do we have
showed
an
up.
extra round? I need to pick somebody else.
Top assistant coaches.
Yes.
Assistant coaches category, please.
I will take Joe Barry.
oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Akers, you're up to clean up
This
this.
is another
mess.
thing. It's
Then I want the Jets assistant who kicked that guy's leg out.
Oh, that was Mike Tomlin.
I was gonna say.
No, the way the guy ran behind him. He stuck his leg out.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
I was like, Tomlin walked on the field.
Tomlin walked on the damn field.
Yeah.
Just staring at the big screen while you're doing it.
Like you couldn't see his ass running right behind you. Okay,
Oh, I turned around because he's about to smoke my team.
cheating motherfucker. No Belichick wannabe.
Oh, this was hard because I liked him when he's with the Hogs. I mean, Joe Gibbs, 3 Super Bowls, 4 conference with his win, 62% winning. I mean, like I said, it was a lot of the coaches I got, like what Ryan was saying, a lot of them are all under Paul Brown. I mean, the list, it's just hard. It's all debatable. You know, you got Chuck Noll with the steel curtain. But I mean, since you got to scratch him off my list, since, you know, I can't take him. I mean, Joe Gibbs, I mean, he had a solid team.
That was my other pick. My other pick was Joe Gibbs because he got the best out of his players. And he knew how to coach his players instead of trying to, like a lot of these guys now try to manage players. He can coach his players and treat them like they were just players and treat them. Treat them like they were people too, not just players. He was treating them like they were like one of his sons and all that. So that's a good pick too.
One of the things I liked about it was back, '91. When I lived down in DC, Baltimore area. It was when they beat the Cowboys back in '91 for the championship, going to the Super Bowl. You would have thought they won the Super Bowl before they even got there. It was just between them and the Cowboys back in the '90s and the late '80s. It was a hassle so much. But Joe always kept finding ways to get past them.
Is everybody picked?
Yeah.
So I want to give a shout out to Mike Tomlin though, as one of the best coaches ever. That dude had Antonio Brown and Bell on their team, and he kept that crap together for how many years?
Yeah.
And obviously Brown is a complete
nutcase.
He should be on my team.
Right.
Did he do drugs or no?
Clear. Have you seen his videos from his house? Yes, he has.
Oh, okay.
Very much so.
Okay.
Because anybody comes out and finds, I would like to know where you come up with gummy bear dicks.
What?
You haven't seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Came back to
Hold on.
I go and take a piss, and the first thing I fucking hear is gummy bear dicks.
So
The gummy dildos. Yeah,
the gummy bear dildo.
gummy dildos.
Okay, it's getting
The
better.
police show up. His ex-girlfriend shows up to pick up his kids. I don't know if her car wasn't working, whatever. She decides to take one of his vehicles. He flips out. They're in an argument. The police are called. This moron turns on his camera, puts him on video. He's sitting there, F the police, blah, 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 and then goes, sir, can I get my keys back? And then, please, so, hold on. Fuck the police. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I get my keys back. And then he starts going off on his ex-girlfriend. And then he's calling her a hoe. He's calling her this, this. All of a sudden, he picks up this bag of gummy bear dildos.
Oh.
And he throws it at his ex-wife right in front of the police.
Prepare to peg.
And it's where do you find these things? I mean, first of all, you just randomly have these laying around your house.
Just don't be jealous.
You got them from Gorillas.
I clearly am shopping in the wrong stores. I don't know. I've never seen those things before in my life. How do you come up with this? And why do you have them outside of your house? He didn't go back into the house to get them. They were outside. How on earth did you come up with these things outside of your house?
I'll tell you.
And you
Right,
have the nerve to throw it at the police officer. He had the video camera on because
That's
someone
gonna
was
be
going to
the
get tased.
That's next year's version of lawn gnomes. Don't you know?
hey, I'll tell you right
And I
now.
got some lawn dicks.
We took the boys to their bowling tournament, and we stayed at a hotel across the street. From right next door to each other was Ambiance Store of Lovers and Honey Baked Ham. I said, you can't go wrong right there.
It was about 2 hands sticking out back ahead to ass.
I challenge you to go around Pontiac and check out all the weed shops and notice that right next door that most of them have a Subway. That cannot be a coincidence.
I'll go. I'll do both at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. You know they're going in right in there to the weed shop and then going right over to Subway.
Well, they just
Location.
Right. Exactly.
Someone, here, you know that whole saying, which came first? You know, the chicken or the egg, or if the tree falls, is there anyone around to hear it if it fell? Well, what came first, the Subway or the pot shop? Which one came first? Who had the bright idea? The pot shop or the Subway people?
Depends on location.
Location?
Maybe it's owned by the same people.
No,
There you go.
that's a genius.
There you go.
So someone come up with a game plan like that. That's a genius. Better yet, all you can eat buffet.
Ooh.
Right next to this.
Ooh.
Right next to the pot shop. Woo! Someone's going out of business though.
Or
Can't do
hibachi.
buffets right now.
Hey, yeah, weed shop and a hibachi right next to each other.
There you go.
They wouldn't wait though. They were too hungry to be waiting. Oh, look at that flame! I'm hungry.
Dude, lunchtime, you gotta be standing out there with just bags of subs. Hey, $20. 20
Girl
bucks a
Scout
sub.
cookies all day.
Just walk by. Here you go. 20 bucks a sub.
I
As
feel
they're
like
just walking out.
I feel like this conversation is being joked about by a bunch of people that haven't smoked weed in a lot of years.
I've never smoked weed. Thank you.
You're
We
welcome.
don't inhale.
He just
I've never
Contact
smoked in my life.
lenses.
It's true. I've never actually smoked
Because
nothing.
these stereotypes are just so like ridiculous. It's
I'm with Suds. I have never touched it in my life.
I touched it, but
I'm
never
sorry to hear
smoked
that.
it. My brother was a
Hey, I don't care if people do it. I just
my first dog
That's their life.
in my dad's house was the county drug dog. He was the chief of police. The dog slept in my bedroom. Talking about not having friends?
Well, I just want to
At least a select few were like, yeah, no, dude, we can't hang out with you anymore. Got it.
I just want to say, looking back at it, I think I won the draft, so we can just close on that.
No.
Are we done drafting coaches yet? I had to take a piss. I'm sorry.
Yes, we are.
Well,
Okay.
before we do that, I just want to let you know, with all you guys mentioned up there, I mean, I'm gonna let you guys, the drafting team and a lot of the coaches we had coming out of Detroit. But the best thing came out of Detroit was I-75.
A car.
No, he said I-75.
I-75.
Best thing come out of Detroit.
Akers, who'd you take your coach?
Is anybody else make
Joe Gibbs.
Oh, Joe Gibbs. That's right.
Yeah, he took you.
He's talking about up north, because up north is beautiful. He thinks 75. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you now. He is right about that.
Yeah.
When you got to go to Alpena, the only thing I do is go right around to 23.
Well, you have the Red Wings though.
True.
Ooh,
Fuck.
no.
We don't have anything right now.
We got nothing.
You had. I
Well,
said
nobody
had.
has anything, but you know what I mean.
Had.
Had.
You got Little Caesars.
Yeah, that's funny.
80s and 90s, the Red Wings were great.
You know what? Little Caesars is really underrated.
I agree.
Little Caesars is
I did.
underrated.
I remember they used to have the square pizzas all the time. They used to be 2 square pizzas
Oh.
and the one little paper sheet. That you
Yes.
used all the time.
Oh, whenever I was like 13 and I babysat for somebody, they'd get us that, and I was just like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever!" And then I get like $17 for babysitting for 5 hours, and I was like, "I'm rich."
You know who copied that was the Marcos with the big square deal. That's basically the same damn thing.
Yep.
Mhm. I think we might be hungry.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds like it.
We gotta find a Subway.
We need food.
Do something before I find that Subway, Chris.
I gotta find a Subway.
We do it on the way.
I may have to stop next door. No.
It's after 8 o'clock. They close.
Ah, shit.
Wait a minute.
Hey, don't they deliver now?
Yeah.
Don't they deliver? I'm talking Subway.
Yeah.
I think everybody delivers
Oh,
now.
yeah. He made sure he clarified.
I'll make sure you're talking about Subway.
So George, when's the baseball one? I'm ready for it already.
Oh,
Next Tuesday night.
All right, I'm in.
Baseball sucks.
Future reference: a player cannot play in both positions.
My brother was a Big Ten champion in baseball, and I still say they suck.
I almost made it as a major league or as a minor league umpire.
Yeah. Look it up. Purdue baseball
were just a
won their
minor
first championship a few years ago. My brother was a relief pitcher for them. Middle reliever.
one time when I was 14, I had a 750 on base percentage through 14 games in Little League.
How many walks was
That's
that?
actually true. It was every walk. I just didn't swing because the pitcher couldn't fucking pitch. So it's like, walk.
Hey, you want to talk about Detroit and all that? There's a kid that was younger than me, same school we went to, and he pitched, and he started pitcher for the Detroit Tigers.
Who?
Let's see if they can guess it.
From Detroit?
Only did about 4 years. No, he's not from Detroit. He's from Vermillion, Ohio.
Oh, Ohio?
Oliver.
Andy Oliver.
Yeah, I knew that. I umpired him in high school.
Yep.
I'm a Tigers fan, and I really don't remember Andy Oliver.
How do you not remember
What?
Andy Oliver? He was the only
'Cause he
guy who started
sucked.
for you guys, and he actually his 3 losses were 1-0 losses.
Oh, well.
Johnny Damon, his dad told me, I never got to talk to him, but Johnny Damon walked to him on the bench and said that he said that when he was losing 1-0, and Damon would hit a home run so he could tie the game so he didn't have to lose that game. In Cleveland.
Well, George,
I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for having me.
George, yeah, this is great, buddy. I want to appreciate you. I want to say thank you for inviting us out for this. This is awesome. This is really
A lot of
what
fun.
we needed. So thank you.
Yeah, not a
Especially
problem.
Something to do,
Especially
guys.
in my circumstances, get to
Yeah.
talking to adults, not
Oh,
sitting
man.
in the basement.
Yeah, I'm sorry you got isolated there, Suds.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, it
Hopefully
does
everything
suck.
turns out for you. All right.
I'm gonna flatten the motherfucker's tires when he comes back to work.
Yeah, George, thanks for doing this. It's actually kind of
Gonna
cool that
tear
you
that
brought
shit
like
up.
3 different leagues together.
Yeah,
To do this.
it
That's kinda
really,
cool.
yeah, it is really cool. It really was. This was a blast. We actually even have Sanders of all people just is
Scott
watching.
Sanders?
Yes, Scott Sanders.
Scott Sanders,
hi.
my
Say
man.
hi. He's watching.
Oh, shit, dog.
He
I
he
missed
says
that guy. I haven't talked to him in 15 years,
forever.
probably.
Yeah.
Shit.
He says he likes Marco's pizza better than Little Caesars.
That's what he chimes in on.
Yeah, we knew he wasn't gonna talk about football.
He's probably still looking to try to draft Sean Alexander in the
He
first
stopped
round.
paying attention after the second round.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
No.
man. Hi, Scott. Good to hi. Good to talk to you. Or see you or hear from you.
Feel free to bench all your players again.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's the fuck you, Suds, right here. Yeah,
It's gotta happen. If I can't have at least one person say that to me, I haven't done my job.
I don't know you that well yet.
You will. Feel free. It doesn't affect me. I've been told to fuck off by 3-year-olds.
All right. Everybody calls me an asshole. I said that's Mr. Asshole to you.
Yeah, asshole's my dad.
Yeah. So again, thank you, George. This was awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was
All
really
right, I'm
fun.
out. Have a good one.
Yep. See you later,
Yeah.
Suds. Take it easy and be careful up there, man.
Thank you. Bye.
Be careful up there.
Everybody.
Yeah, this was an absolute blast. Like I said, next week I'll be in touch with a couple of folks and we're gonna run through the baseball and I'll submit you guys the roster setup for that. We're
Anchors,
looking
you're
at Tuesday at 8:00. And at the moment I have spoken with Dave from Redline Radio. He's going to try to join us as well as Gary Tillett, who could not make tonight, but is going to turn around and also try to make it next week as well. So we'll have a few more bodies in here, different bodies in here to turn around and do the baseball one next week. So that's all from our crew here today. Thank you for everybody who has been sticking around and watching or jumping in back and forth and watching this train wreck of a draft and enjoying the entertainment since we're all cooped up and have nothing absolutely better to do. And we'll try to see everybody again next week. Please share and comment below. What are you doing, Akers?
My social distance.
Five.
Oh, I am your host with the most, G, and this has been a excellent episode of Dueling Aces. You guys take it easy and be safe out there. See you on the flip side.
Peace out.